This main character cross over to the world of cultivating immortals just likes to go fishing and cook rice. He only wants to live a normal life and has no interest in cultivating. Unlike other crossover characters who want to have golden finger systems, extraordinary physical abilities, divine level skills, or a predetermined position at the top, the reason why he became like this must be related to his past. He is a crossover person who has crossed over 99 times. Each time he dies he crosses over to a different world and possesses different systems such as, a skill that increases luck 1,000 times, summoning divine beasts, or a cultivation speed 100,000 times faster. Once in another world, he modestly lived a low-profile life, but before he could mature, he was killed by a destined enemy. Another time, after struggling to reach the maximum level, he thought he had achieved glory, but he discovered that he was simply a pawn nurtured by the system, meant to be sacrificed to others. In those 99 crossovers, he never reached the end of the road, always meeting a tragic end in various ways. He realized that since he dies no matter what he does, there is no point in trying anymore. So in this 100th crossover, he simply wants to live peacefully, fishing and cooking rice, being a proper salted fish, and enjoying life. The system in this round also has to yield to him. It tried every way to get him to do the task, but all ended in bitter failure, causing the system to crash and restart, only to keep crashing. Yet the system did not give up, but manipulated to tempt him into completing the task. Giving him 9-tailed spirit fox spirit beasts, it was almost taken away by the guards, so the system deliberately gave him the reward of an immortal beast egg. Thinking it could move him emotionally, but the result was that the egg was also taken away, but instead of hatching, it gave birth to a mutated husky, an unbeatable immortal beast. But for him, getting rid of this fierce dog early would be better. However, the husky thought its master wanted to play hide and seek, so it went out to play, wandered into someone else's sect, lifted the old ancestor lightly, destroyed that sect, and even sent their old ancestor flying to another ascended life. And now let's get into the content. Under the deep blue sky, amidst the rugged high mountains, is the scene of a sect actively dividing and practicing. Some disciples ride swords flying high, some constantly train, some run tirelessly. In the group of people over here, there are 2 young men also practicing martial arts, but their eyes wander around unfocused. The young man in a large purple robe spoke up, "Newcomer. Even ye senior brother doesn't know," pointing towards the tall tower on the mountain, explaining, "See that mountain peak up there? That is where ye senior brother resides." The young man in a small green robe curiously asked, "Can one occupy a spiritual peak alone? Is ye senior brother really powerful?" The one in purple replied, "Ye senior brother has an immortal heavenly Tao body and is our master's 4th direct disciple." The young man in green eyes widened in shock. "What? Isn't the immortal heavenly Tao body an extinct high-level existence?" The purple-clad man continued, "Furthermore, ye senior brother is the direct male disciple of that beautiful master, who used to only accept female disciples." As they spoke, both could imagine the beautiful women blushing in their minds. The young man in green sighed enviously, "Damn, jealous of ye senior brother. So he is a very powerful figure in our sect, right?" The purple-robed man immediately frowned and said, "No, he is just a useless person with natural talents. With abundant resources but unwilling to cultivate, he has been in the sect for 2 months but has never practiced, now he is only afraid of being a mere mortal. Ye senior brother, who is now being talked about by everyone, is lying in the room, with a blindfold on his face and humming, 'The sky is blue, the gentle wind is blowing, it's indeed a beautiful day to be lazy.'" But unexpectedly, the system suddenly appears with a notification, "Congratulations host for successfully activating the strong manufacturing system." He jumps up in surprise, removes the blindfold and shouts, "Not again." Another system has appeared. The system confirms, "That's right, it's the system, there must be a system for those who cross over to pretend to be cool and upgrade. This system will do its best to manufacture the host into the strongest in the mainland. The system excitedly invites, "Come on host, from now on the journey to become the peak of the mainland will begin." the response to the system is a snoring sound. It feels like a black hawk flying over its head. The system helplessly says, "Host, are you not going to show off a little?" Yifan frowns and mutters, "Show off what? It's just a system." "I haven't seen anything like this before," the system yelled. "Host, wake up. Don't you want to become invincible in the world?" He closed his eyes, recalling in his mind, "My name is Yifan, a person who has crossed over. Before coming here, I had crossed over 99 times. In other words, I have encountered 99 different systems, with a variety of abilities such as skills with 10,000 times enhancements, summoning divine beasts, and training speed 100,000 times faster. In one world, I humbly lived in seclusion, farming every day, constantly reminding myself, one must be humble. But before I could grow up, I was suddenly killed by the Son of Destiny. In another world, I tirelessly worked on the brink of death to complete my mission. Yifan at that time kept jumping around, shouting, 'I'm in, I'm out, hit me if you can,' but when the mission time ran out, I was eventually erased by the system for failing the mission. The strangest time, I worked hard to level up." With tears streaming down, Yifan resolutely said, "This time, I finally reached the max level." Once again, he discovered that he was nothing more than a sacrificial lamb used by the cultivation system to offer to others. The monster with sharp teeth squeezed tightly, saying, "Finally you have the right to sacrifice for me." Yifan cried helplessly and screamed. For the 99th time, he never made it to the end, so he realized, after all, I will die in the end. Why do I have to try for it? Yes, the benefits that the system offers are just bait, a deceptive game of deception to drain my money. This is the 100th crossover. I will never listen to any system, whatever destiny. I am just a salted fish lying straight. The system kept yelling loudly, "Host, wake up quickly, how can you still sleep at this age? Get up and practice, life without practice is gone." Yifan heard that, he secretly thought, "Just afraid that I practice faster. Moreover, I have lived 99 lives, how about enjoying this lifetime? Just keep sleeping." He thought and fell asleep. The system immediately displayed the new player bonus that had been activated. "Congratulations to the host for receiving a training speed that is 1,000 times faster. Each time the host advances to a small realm, the training speed will increase exponentially. Host, hurry up and start training." The system did not see Yifan's big reaction and said, "I have already taken the initiative, why can you be so indifferent like this?" Yifan then scratched his butt, causing the system to angrily curse him. The system warned, detecting the host's resistance to training, system synthesizing model. After a while, the system screen was chaotic with the message, "Model is complete, system restarting." Immediately, the blue system has now turned to a cheerful pink color, saying, "The system has been restarted and changed to a check-in system, just go to the designated location to check in and receive rewards." The system immediately presented the task, "Today's check-in location is the host's room." The check-in process is simple, just go to the check-in location within the circle, then check in. Check-in location is only 5 meters away from the host. The time consumption is only 10 seconds, come on host, move quickly, just sleeping without any activity is not good for your health. After a while of monologue without a response, the system lowered its head and saw Yifan yawning, oh, helplessly muttering, "Sleep, am I really asleep?" The sun rose high and gradually hid its shadow. At this time Yifan woke up stretching and yawning, refreshing. The system waited impatiently, frowning dissatisfiedly saying, "Host, you finally woke up from your sleep, I thought you were going to sleep for 1,000 autumns." Yifan ignored it, got out of bed. The system kept shouting loudly behind, "That's right, just like that, keep going host. Just a few more steps to the check-in point." Yifan walked towards the circle, then entered another room, causing the system to freeze and exclaim, "What is this? You clearly arrived at the check-in point, why are you not checking in?" The place Yifan entered was the kitchen. He picked up a knife to prepare to cook the fish on the cutting board, opening his mouth. "Sleeping too long, so kind of hungry now, let's eat fish today." The system once again disrupted with a notification, system error occurred, restarting. Shortly after the system, from pink color, now changed to green, continues with a monologue, system restarting, system has successfully helped host check in. His eyes gleaming as he watched Yi Fan busily washing vegetables continued, congratulations host received purifying body holy water, after drinking can eliminate all impurities in the body, transform into the most suitable physical condition for cultivation, have strong damage against demonic cultivators and ghost cultivators, cannot follow the path of demonic cultivators and ghost cultivators anymore after use. Yi Fan said, I pour, then poured the water, making the system widen its eyes and exclaimed, damn it. Yi Fan stood up defiantly looking at the roaring fire, leisurely said, wait until the fish is done, then we can start eating. The system lamented painfully, why? At this moment, the door opened and someone came in, a person with messy hair in white clothes looked around, hesitantly said, hello. Yi Fan carried the food from inside and stepped out happily saying, newcomer. Come in, have a meal, he casually said as he pulled a chair for the person in front of him. Come on, eat, consider it your own home. Don't be shy. Watching the person in front of him eating, Yi Fan smiled inwardly. A month ago, a disciple from another sect got lost and came to our place, and now we have another one here. After the meal, I'll take him to the personnel elder to ask a few questions. Suddenly, there was a figure outside the door approaching here. Yi Fan looked up and suspected inwardly. Why did the patrolling disciple come here? He stepped out and looked at the crowd standing there, then asked. What happened, junior brothers? The one standing at the front replied. Yi senior brother, a skilled ghost cultivator specializing in disguise has infiltrated. We are trying to find his whereabouts. Yi Fan saw the strange bull not reacting, he said. The strange bull shows no reaction, seems like he's not here, the girl replied. Yi senior brother is right, let's search elsewhere. Yi Fan turned around and walked into the room, sighing. The Tao is really not peaceful at all. Suddenly, a strong smell wafted from the kitchen. Yi Fan sniffed and frowned, what's that burnt smell? Then he immediately screamed, oh no, my fish. He rushed off, yelling, it's ruined. The stranger sitting at the dining table turned his head and smiled wickedly, his eyes full of malice. He thought, although I don't know why this place can block the reaction of my ghost energy, I managed to escape a disaster. This foolish guy with no cultivation just saved my life. To repay you, I, the ghost, will devour you alive. As he thought this, he kept laughing, haha, his face showing a sinister and terrifying glee. Before he could relish the moment, he felt something unusual in his body. Sweating and clutching his stomach, he screamed, what's happening? Why does my body hurt so much? The purifying body holy water had taken effect, directly dissolving the ghost. His agonized scream, echoed through the air. Yi Fan brought the food out and regretfully said, even though it's a bit burnt, it's still edible. Looking at the empty dining table, he noticed there was no one left. Yi Fan muttered to himself, wherever that person went, it doesn't matter. The security in the sect is very good, nothing will happen. He picked up the fish dish and sat down at the table to start eating. Suddenly, the system appeared excitedly and said, congratulations, host, on completing a random mission. The main reward is a divine-level skill book, immortal and timeless. Yi Fan glanced at the book on the table and listened to the system happily explain, this skill contains the will of heavenly Tao, cultivating it to perfection will grant an immortal body, longevity in the world. Yi Fan did not respond, bowing his head to the ground. The system crossed its arms and asked. What are you doing, host? Yi Fan opened his mouth and said, my eyes are truly extraordinary. This time, the table is stable again. This statement left the system in shock. Before it could regain composure, Yi Fan continued, after eating, I will go fishing to compensate for the damage this time. The system was stunned and muttered, the system has detected an unclear error and is rebooting. The sun was shining brightly as Yi Fan put on his glasses, casually took the fishing rod, and set off to fish. The sect disciples couldn't help but gossip about it. "You see, Yi senior brother is out fishing again, what a waste of talent, maybe I'm better off without him." At that moment, a girl stepped forward and shouted, "Train harder, don't be discouraged." The disciples were surprised for a moment, then immediately shouted in agreement, feeling happy inside as they thought, "Senior sister scolded us again, how wonderful." The girl who spoke up was Zi Yan, a disciple of Zi Yan sect. Suddenly, there was a loud noise and an unsteady cry that startled everyone. A disciple quickly ran back and reported, "Senior sister, something's happening, people from Xiang's sect are coming to the sect." Zi Yan exclaimed, "What?" as footsteps approached. Second elder of Xiang's sect spoke up, "Little friend, there's a misunderstanding. Xiang's sect doesn't intend to invade the sect, we were just stopped from entering the mountain for inspection, we had no choice." Hearing this, Zi Yan angrily drew her sword and shouted, "Inspecting the mountain? How dare you enter Zi Yan sect's territory for inspection?" Second elder raised an eyebrow and replied, "If you won't allow us to inspect, then hand over the nine-tailed spirit fox to us." The disciples standing there listened to him speak and immediately began to discuss excitedly. "Nine-tailed spirit fox, it's not just a legend, is it? It's a treasure. It must be a treasure, having one like that will bring our sect prosperity." The second elder interrupted the noise, speaking up, "We've been pursuing that nine-tailed spirit fox for a long time, only to have it snatched away by your Zi Yan sect. You owe us an explanation." Zi Yan spoke up awkwardly, "This is a serious matter, we must wait for our master to make a decision. Until then, your Xiang sect cannot step foot into our Zi Yan sect." The second elder raised his hand and ordered, "Xiang sect, attack." He then shouted, "You dare to intrude? Zi Yan sect, you want to monopolize it, don't you?" The Zi Yan sect also drew their swords and Zi Yan scornfully shouted, "Relying on a few people like that to act so arrogantly in our Zi Yan sect, the courage of your Xiang sect is quite big, isn't it?" The two sides clashed and fought vigorously. The sound of swords echoed loudly, near the bushes suddenly moved abnormally, a man peeked out behind the bushes, his face showed a sinister expression thinking to himself, "Follow the plan, the situation is indeed developing as the elder predicted, while the elder is extending the time, I, who have the ability to sense the best spirit beasts of Xiang's sect, will find the nine-tailed spirit fox here." With that, he jumped down successfully infiltrated inside, running through the forest, he stopped in front of a large lake and saw a figure sitting far away fishing. He couldn't help but wonder, why is there someone here, now is not the time for cultivation. He slowly approached and silently evaluated Yi Fan, no cultivation. Turns out he is a mortal, a mortal who doesn't even cultivate, he is doomed to be hopeless. Yi Fan held a fishing rod, yawned, sound, the system then appeared a notification, "Host, I have recently discovered a supreme spirit beast nine-tailed spirit fox nearby, let's go catch it." Yi Fan chewed on a blade of grass, listening to the system and whispered to himself, "The system is despicable." We just finished forming a team and you want me to leave, trying to harm me in vain. The system didn't see Yi Fan respond and immediately awkwardly smiled and flattered. "I understand that the host is worried that catching spirit beasts will be dangerous, right? No need to worry, I have prepared to make a contract with the spirit beasts, just throw it towards the nine-tailed spirit fox and you can make it your pet." Yi Fan suddenly stood up, surprising the system buzzing, "Oh, host, you finally act," but it turns out that he responded with a joyful image, shouting loudly for a long time, finally obtained something without wasting in vain. The system stood next to him, speechless, with a dark face. Instantly angry, saying, "It's just a fish, why is it more important than an excellent spiritual pet?" With that, it threw the contract to summon the spirit beasts, and it suddenly flew around, coincidentally hitting the head of the nine-tailed spirit fox. Looking at the item hit on its head, the fox demon angrily cursed, wondering what it was. Seeing the dazzling light emitted from the contract to summon the spirit beasts, the fox demon was startled and muttered, "What? Someone wants to force me to make a contract. Humans want us to lose our freedom and then die in an endless battle, right? Don't joke with me. It shivered in the light and attraction of this treasure, gaping, sweating profusely trying to resist. As a nine-tailed spirit fox, how could I easily become a pet like that? After a while, the nine-tailed spirit fox, exhausted, collapsed to the ground. The system then announced, "Congratulations, host has received the top-grade spirit beast, nine-tailed spirit fox." A disciple of Xiang's sect from the bushes raised his head, suspiciously looking around. What happened? I feel like nine-tailed spirit fox has been contracted by someone else. He looked at Yi Fan vigilantly. Is he playing some kind of devil trick? No matter what. First kill him before dealing with nine-tailed spirit fox. He shouted, "One bullet, one wall," then shot a spiritual energy straight towards Yi Fan. Yi Fan, unaware of what was happening, was still sitting there fishing, while the frantic system next to him screamed, "Warning, warning host." Shouting in despair, the system sighed and muttered, "Forget it, I know you won't answer. I will directly help you counterattack 100 times." The system threw a black counterattack at Yi Fan, not only defending him but also attacking back towards the disciple of Xiang's sect. The disciple was bewildered and immediately there was a loud explosion, smoke and fire spreading everywhere. On the other side, second elder heard the explosion and worried silently, "What's that sound? Did something happen at the stone of great power? I must quickly go see." He waved his hand at Ziyan and shouted, "Retreat." Ziyan was caught off guard and was hit in the chest, causing her to fall to the ground, spitting out blood. The disciples of Ziyan's sect rushed over and asked, "Senior sister, are you okay?" "Senior sister, hold on." Second elder looked at Ziyan's painful state and thought to himself, that blow shouldn't have caused her serious injury. Did she deceive me? The female elders of Ziyan's sect arrived in time. The leading master with long flowing purple hair stared at him, speaking in a deep voice, "The Xiang sect is really daring, thinking the Ziyan sect is easy to bully, huh?" The second elder and disciples of the Xiang sect immediately knelt down, expressing regret, saying, "Today is our fault, consider these as apologies, please forgive us." He displayed countless skills and precious treasures in front of the Ziyan sect elders. The female master of the Ziyan sect was surprised and exclaimed, "Ha!" then saw the people of the Xiang sect running away in panic. They kept running and muttering, "Damn it, the nine-tailed spirit fox can't be found, and we're being humiliated, we must leave quickly. Or we will suffer severe losses." The elders are really wise. Seeing the scene before her, the master of the Ziyan sect silently thought, "What are they here for?" Well, now healing Ziyan is more important, as she glanced over at Ziyan and immediately widened her eyes, muttering to herself, "This is." Yi Fan was focused on fishing when he heard repeated, chirping, sounds. He stood up in surprise and said, "Huh? Is the master sending me a message again?" Holding the shining jade in his hand, Yi Fan heard an urgent voice saying, "Something has happened, come quickly." Yi Fan threw the fishing rod and his hat, and hurried away. Before long, Yi Fan saw a disciple of the Xiang sect lying unconscious. Yi Fan frowned and thought, "Oh, it's another trap set up by the damn system. Once I pay attention to this man, a series of events will occur, making me unwittingly become its slave. Does it want to deceive me with this outdated trickery? Look down on me, huh?" With that in mind, he ignored the man, jumped over him, and ran straight on. Upon returning to the Ziyan sect, he pushed the door open urgently and shouted, "Master, are you looking for me?" "Master." With sadness in his eyes, replied, "Senior sister is not going to make it, I called you to see her for the last time." Ziyan weakly coughed a few times, cough cough. Yi Fan stood there and after hearing the master's words, he exclaimed in shock, "What?" He approached the bed, puzzled, and asked, "Senior sister was fine this morning, why is she like this now?" Master's expression turned grim, "It's all because of the Xiang sect. Ziyan cultivates a skill that uses demon energy from demon beasts as a foundation for refinement. Half a year ago, she unintentionally caused a problem with the demonic energy in her body, which has kept her condition unstable. Today, when Xiang's sect came to attack, Ziyan forcefully activated her skill, but unfortunately, she was hit in a spot where demon energy had accumulated in her body, causing the chaotic demon energy to ultimately swallow her body. Today, Ziyan is afraid she won't be able to hold on much longer. Yifan's face filled with sadness, quietly calling out to his senior sister, and reminiscing about childhood memories. Ziyan, who was a lovely child at the time, had said to him, "You're the disciple recently accepted by Master, right? So in the future, you have to call me senior sister. You don't want to cultivate? That's okay, senior sister will protect you in the future." Yifan, angry and gnashing his teeth, muttered to himself, "It's all because of this dog system, turning people into this. Just to make me its dog and do something like this, it's really despicable." The system immediately retorted, "Hey, it's not me doing it. Just lying down can get hit by a bullet." A female disciple entered and opened her mouth, saying, "Master, the spirit water you requested the disciple has prepared." The system now reminded itself to quickly cleanse itself. It took out a vial and handed it to Yifan, hesitantly calling out to the host. Yifan frowned and silently cursed this system for deceiving him again. He angrily shouted, making the system startled, accidentally dropping the vial into the water basin. The medicine was successfully released. The sect master took the water basin inside, hoping this spirit water could alleviate Ziyan's suffering. Yifan walked to the bedside and said, "Master, let me do it. You have been taking care of senior sister for a long time, take a break." He then sat down, took a towel from the water basin and wrung it dry. The master sensed something strange and murmured to himself, puzzled, "Why does this spiritual energy spirit water feel stronger than usual? Did I perceive it wrongly? Anyway, Yifan doesn't have the ability to change the quality of the spirit water." Yifan gently placed the towel on Ziyan's forehead, and her pale face suddenly turned rosy, leaving the master pondering in confusion. The complexion of Ziyan suddenly became so rosy. Could it be that the light shining in? No. It's not the light, but Ziyan has fully recovered. What strange thing is happening? Just now Ziyan thought she couldn't be saved, but now the demon energy in her body has stabilized again. The external wounds have also fully healed. Not only the internal and external injuries of Ziyan have fully recovered, but even the realm has broken through to Foundation Establishment Level 10. Yifan didn't hide at the corner door, staring in awe at the constantly changing expression of his master, silently thinking, why would senior sister be hit so hard? Why does master seem a bit unusual at this time? It would be better to leave master alone to calm down a bit. Thinking of this, he spoke up and said, "Master, I'll go back first. You should also pay attention to your body." Here master is not paying attention, mind still unclear about this matter. After all, as the night fell, the elders of the Ziyan sect sat at the table under the leadership of the master. A female elder at this moment spoke up, "Master, how is Ziyan's condition?" Hearing this, the master replied, "Thank you for your concern, Grand Elder. Ziyan has long been safe and sound." Another elder questioned, "Is that even possible to cure?" The master coldly responded, "All right, we'll discuss Ziyan's situation later. We still need to talk about what exactly the Xiang sect is planning. Although our two sects occasionally have conflicts, storming our mountain gate is unprecedented. Moreover, as soon as we arrived, they knelt down and apologized smoothly, as if rehearsed, leaving us puzzled." An elder with a long beard suddenly recalled something and spoke up, "That's right. I discovered the body of a Xiang sect disciple near Jingming Lake. After multiple examinations, it was determined that the disciple was killed by a skill unique to the Xiang sect, indicating that it was likely a suicide." The sect master stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Suicide? Is there something wrong with the head of that Xiang sect disciple?" Suddenly, the master's eyes widened in shock as an idea struck him. "Wait a minute, isn't Yifan the only one who has been active near Jingming Lake? Could it be him? But we haven't seen Yifan practicing anything. How could he do such things?" Thinking about it, she shook her head repeatedly, denying, "No, it's not right. Yi Fan is indeed an immortal heavenly Tao body of thousands of years, maybe he has some abilities that we don't know about. The Grand Elder looked at the Master's strange behavior and asked, Master, do you have any clues? The Master replied, there are some clues, but we need to confirm further. She thought to herself, maybe my disciple is already asleep, I should wait until tomorrow to go. The sect master looked at everyone and continued, what clues does Xian sect have about the nine-tailed spirit fox? Another elder replied. The disciples of the Ziyun sect haven't found anything yet, but don't worry, master, if they see such precious spirit beasts and don't report it, they will treat it well. The precious spirit beasts that all sects value are currently lying in Yi Fan's room, pale and lifeless, the system on this side urging Yi Fan to sleep on the bed. Host, your pet is hungry and thirsty. If you don't feed them, it can be dangerous to their lives. The nine-tailed spirit fox walked to the bed and focused on looking at Yi Fan sleeping with his mouth wide open, making sounds of, non-stop. It was secretly angry, thinking, even if forcing a contract is not counted, at least they should be fed. Forget it, I'll take care of it myself, food and warm clothes, at least there should be some leftovers in the human's kitchen. With that in mind, it jumped down and left the room heading to the kitchen. As Yi Fan was a clean freak, when the nine-tailed spirit fox entered the kitchen, it was overwhelmed by the cleanliness and shine, inwardly exclaiming, so clean. It approached a pile of fresh vegetables, its eyes showing disgust as it whispered, I am the nine-tailed spirit fox, I will never eat this even if I die of hunger outside, but at that moment, its rumbling stomach directly accused it, leaving it embarrassed. A moment later, the nine-tailed spirit fox was sitting there happily munching on delicious carrots, constantly exclaiming, so delicious. The next morning, the sect echoed with shouts of, thief, catch the thief. At that moment, someone was quietly opening the safe door with a click. The two men slowly walked into Yi Fan's room, whispering to each other. The man wearing a thick fur coat and a long, bushy beard said, he, the spirit fox tracker is getting brighter every day, it seems the nine-tailed spirit fox is nearby. The chubby elder following behind heard this and exclaimed, unbelievable, Ziyun Zhenren couldn't detect the nine-tailed spirit fox, this is truly a godsend for our Xiang sect. The long-bearded elder immediately got angry, scolding, God send my foot, I gave second elder so many resources, and not only did he fail to catch the nine-tailed spirit fox, but also lost the stone of great power, compensating Ziyun sect, and now he's making me go into battle myself. Truly shameful, the elder did not expect such a strong reaction, so he nodded and said, yes, all thanks to the protection of Xiang sect's master, this sect cannot be without you. It turns out that the long-bearded man is the master of Xiang sect, and after hearing the chubby elder's flattery, he smugly said, of course, let me tell you one more thing. To be able to act tonight, I spent a large sum to hire the three most notorious thief kings in the eastern wilderness to create a diversion outside. This time, even if Ziyun Zhenren arrives, we can still escape unscathed. The fat elder flattered him with a bright smile, Master, you are truly brilliant. Seeing Yi Fan sleeping with his mouth open on the other side, the master spoke, why is there still someone here? Didn't the thief kings lure him away? The great elder immediately replied, Master, he's just a mortal, probably didn't hear anything. The sect master laughed maliciously, his hand filled with spiritual energy as he rushed towards the sleeping Yi Fan, fiercely saying, even mortals must be eliminated. I've spent so much money this time, I cannot tolerate even the slightest mistake. After a long while, the master of the Ziyun sect sighed, holding his head, let's just forget about this. Our Ziyun sect has a sense of shame, we won't stoop to the level of the insane Xiang sect. The second elder of the Xiang sect shouted angrily, our Xiang sect also has dignity. You dare to harm our master and leave him in such a difficult position, we will fight to the death with the Ziyun sect. The master turned to leave, saying, forget it, don't think about this anymore, we still have to go see what my disciple is hiding after all. Second elder raised his hand to stop and said, wait a moment, don't rush, we have to decide a bit, who will be the next master. But at this time she immediately flew away without answering. Behind the crowd rushed into fighting and competing, smoke filled the air, the ground shattered and cracked, then a voice was heard saying I will be the master. The disciples of the sect prepared to leave, hearing that, then opened their mouths to say that a master of the sect died so miserably, and there are people who want to seize power as master, their minds are already troubled. Back when the master of the Xiang sect used the fist of breaking the heavens and opening the earth, to rush towards Yi Fan, who was asleep. The Grand Elder was excitedly shouting loudly, not in vain, as a master, dealing with a mortal with all his might. At this moment the system directly punched him in the face with great force, the system showing a bored face saying, "Do you see me as invisible?" This punch by the system sent him flying far away, staggering and falling on top of the fat old man. Both of them screamed in pain, "Ouch, ouch, ouch." Yi Fan, woken by the noise, sat up with a start and said, What's going on? Rats causing a ruckus." The system excitedly exclaimed, "Host, you're finally awake." It smirked inwardly, thinking, "I'm starting to understand the host's personality. If I directly called him to wake up, not only would he not respond, but he might even cause my own collapse. So, it's better to handle the situation first and then wait for him to wake up to take credit. I've matured." Yi Fan looked at the scene before him and blurted out, "What the hell?" The system thought, "My chance to claim credit has finally arrived," and pointed as it began to say, "Host, while you were sleeping, 2 people." Before the system could finish, Yi Fan interrupted, "Why would someone wander in the middle of the night? They fell asleep as soon as they came in, it looks like they were exhausted from cultivation." The system was left dumbfounded. Then Yi Fan continued, "Luckily, I have the pills from the second elder, otherwise, they might have died from exhaustion, and I would have been the unlucky one." He took out a bottle of pills, which instantly made the system furious and scream, "Host, they just wanted to kill you. Do you think I'm stupid? First of all, the Ziyun sect strictly prohibits disciples from killing each other, just offending is more terrifying than death. Second, I either don't have the skills or the treasures, why would they kill me? The identity of the master's disciple is nothing to me. Plus, I've lived 99 lifetimes, I don't care about life and death matters anymore." Insane, Yi Fan sat down, took the pill bottle and poured it into the mouth of the Xiang sect's master, the system angrily hugging head. After a while, Master Xiang's sect slowly opened his eyes, silently thinking, "Am I still alive?" In the darkness, the old master and Grand Elder vaguely saw Yi Fan gritting his teeth and opening his mouth. "Are you awake?" Both of them hurriedly ran out the door in horror, leaving Yi Fan surprised. "Wow, strong spirit, seems like there's no issue." Suddenly remembering something, Yi Fan stopped laughing, his eyes widened in shock and said, "It is broken. They said the medicine of the second elder is very strong, can't eat, but the usual legends are all deceiving people, go to sleep." The 9-tailed spirit fox on this side is full, sighing, "What are these humans doing? It's really noisy." Grand Elder and Master Xiang's sect quickly ran into the forest. The old man shouted, "Master, we have run like crazy for 500 miles, must be safe." The master kept saying, "It's terrifying, really terrifying." He not only easily dissipated a full force attack from us, but also saved us before the brink of death. Remembering Yi Fan's face from earlier, both couldn't help but shiver and break out in a cold sweat. The master continued, "Did you see his expression? His smile?" Grand Elder thought and replied in fear, "I will never forget that smile in my entire life. It's a caring smile because we survived." The master was running and speaking, "It's not care, it's the confidence that he can control us." The subordinate nodded in agreement. "I never thought. Turns out there's cultivation in the Ziyun sect that surpasses the existence of Ziyun Jinren. It turns out that the reason we couldn't sense his cultivation wasn't because he's immortal, but because our cultivation is too low." Master of the 9-tailed spirit fox. Before he could finish speaking, the old master quickly ran ahead and exclaimed, "What time is it now? And to think about the 9-tailed spirit fox, we are still alive is already the mercy of the experts." After returning immediately prepare for the grand ceremony. we must personally go to apologize, even if it means risking everything, we must make the other party forgive us. The Grand Elder chased after, shouting, clear, loudly. After running for a while, the old master felt something was amiss, so he turned back and saw his chubby subordinate jumping around, making strange movements. Puzzled, he asked, "What are you doing there?" The subordinate replied, "I don't know, I just feel like jumping." The old master, unable to control his body, started dancing along with him, saying, "You say that, and I also feel like jumping." The two of them then wildly danced non-stop. Far away, a wild boar was looking at them with angry eyes, breathing heavily and muttering, "Humans are stupid, they bother others even in the dark." Before the wild boar could charge at them, it saw the two of them standing in front of it, causing it to panic. The master raised his hand, his face flushed, and gently said, "Younger brother, you don't seem bad, why not join us?" The Grand Elder also bent down in front of it, coaxing, "As an examiner, I am willing to come back for you." The wild boar was horrified, gaping and screaming loudly throughout the forest, "Oh, pervert!" The disciples guarding around the Ziyun sect heard the strange sound and shouted in alarm, "What's happening?" Another person hurriedly ran over, saying, "Quick, let's see what's going on." Both rushed to the source of the sound, their eyes widened and mouths gaping in surprise. "Oh, this is..." In front of them were two men, one holding the wild boar and the other dancing with a monkey, the master twirling the boar around singing, "Jump up, la la," while the Grand Elder was hugging the monkey and crying out loudly. "Father, I miss you so much," he said, making him horrified and gasp for help. Seeing this situation, the two quickly ran away, shouting, "Run fast, there's a weirdo, go report to the master." Early the next morning, two other disciples of the Xiang sect entered the forest to start searching. The short-haired youth asked, "It's been a night, why haven't Master and Grand Elder returned?" The other curly-haired person looked around and replied, "Moreover, we didn't see anyone along the way to this place." Suddenly, a loud rumbling sound came from behind them, both startled, saying, "What's that sound?" They slowly turned and walked behind a bush to observe, both of them wide-eyed in shock. As in front of them lay the old master and Grand Elder they were searching for, motionless on the ground, surrounded by monkeys and wild boars jumping around excitedly, the two panicked youths shouted loudly, "Something has happened." Upon hearing this shocking news, the master of the Ziyun sect couldn't believe it and exclaimed, "What? The master of the Xiang sect and Grand Elder are dead?" The second elder of the Xiang sect shouted in horror. "What? Master and Grand Elder are dead?" Both were shocked by this news. Each person had their own thoughts at this moment. Ziyun sect's master muttered silently, "Why did they die right next to our Ziyun sect? It's really ridiculous, I can't understand what Xiang sect wants in the end." The second elder on this side also gritted his teeth and exclaimed angrily, "They died near Ziyun sect? No need to say that it must be Ziyun sect playing tricks." The sun rose high, shining brightly. Yi Fan woke up and walked out of the room, lazily yawning, "Ah, slept so well yesterday, today I have to cook something good myself." Standing in front of the messy kitchen, Yi Fan couldn't believe his eyes and stepped closer to look inside. The baskets of food were now empty, leaving Yi Fan shocked and gaping. He then shouted, "Where is my food? Such a big basket of vegetables." Walking to another barrel, Yi Fan saw the nine-tailed spirit fox sleeping with a full round belly, immediately angered and thought to himself, "Did this beast eat all my food?" Yi Fan angrily woke up the nine-tailed spirit fox, saying, "This bundle of vegetables and fruits is what junior brother Yen brought from the foot of the mountain, it's very precious." The system, seeing Yi Fan interacting with the nine-tailed spirit fox, couldn't help but cheer, "Host, you finally pay attention to it. This is the top-grade spirit beast nine-tailed spirit fox, if nurtured well, it will bring great benefits to you." The nine-tailed spirit fox, with shining eyes, looked at Yi Fan and thought, "Although this person is a bit poor, he didn't hit me just because I ate his food. It seems he's not a bad person." Maybe I was too biased against the cruelty of humanity before. So if I follow him in the future, maybe it won't be bad. Yi Fan, scrutinizing the nine-tailed spirit fox in front of him, made the system ecstatic, shouting in his ear, "They have a mental connection, they do, the host must nurture it well, your future will be bright." What the system and the nine-tailed spirit fox didn't consider at that moment was. Yi Fan mused aloud, should I make steamed fox or braised fox, causing both individuals to gape in horror. Before they could regain their composure, Yi Fan continued, now that I mention it, I wonder if it would be good fried. The system screamed in frustration, host, that's a nine-tailed spirit fox, an extremely rare creature. Please stop having such dangerous thoughts and show it some respect, a lot more respect. The fox's fur stood on end as it silently wailed, my life is over. Yi Fan looked at the fox and said, no, I can't eat it like this. The system eagerly agreed, exactly, host. This is the right way to think. The fox breathed a sigh of relief, thinking. So it was just trying to intimidate me earlier. I really don't like such mischievous humans. But before the fox could fully rejoice, Yi Fan spoke again, fox meat has a strong odor, I'll need to use medicinal herbs to mask it. The fox was shocked, lamenting, are you still planning to kill me? Yi Fan's voice murmured in its ear, but to prevent it from escaping, it's best to just kill it. With that thought, Yi Fan headed to the kitchen and grabbed a sharp knife. The nine-tailed spirit fox cried in despair, you don't really need to be in such a hurry. Just then, Master Ziyun Sect unexpectedly entered Yi Fan's room and asked, my dear disciple, what are you doing? Yi Fan, upon seeing his master, replied, Master, you came at the right time. I was about to kill this fox so we could have a meal together. Yi Fan raised the knife, ready to deal with the trembling nine-tailed spirit fox on the cutting board. At that moment, the master exclaimed in shock, what, this is the nine-tailed spirit fox. Yi Fan nonchalantly replied, it seems so, master. Please step aside, or you might get blood on you. The master stepped back with a faint smile and thought to himself. Truly worthy of the immortal heavenly Tao body, using such a rare nine-tailed spirit fox for food. Seeing Yi Fan still intent on butchering the nine-tailed spirit fox, the master, horrified, rushed to stop him, hugging the crying fox on the cutting board, and exclaimed, are you joking with me? Yi Fan, puzzled, said, Master, it's my breakfast. If you like it, I can give it to you. Master angrily stared at Yi Fan, she gently rubbed her head and petted the nine-tailed spirit fox in her hand, thinking to herself, this disciple must have been infected by the Xiang sect, why else would his mind be so troubled? Why would he use this treasure to cook? I might as well not acknowledge you, indeed it would be best for me to temporarily take care of it myself. The nine-tailed spirit fox, tears streaming down its face, whispered to itself, so I don't need to die anymore, right? Just say a word, isn't that faster? Yi Fan, on the other side, didn't understand what was happening, thinking to himself, isn't it just a fox? Does the master need to ruin her image like this? Yi Fan opened his mouth and asked, what does master need from me? Master, remembering something, replied, I almost forgot the main point. She hugged the trembling nine-tailed spirit fox with one hand, held Yi Fan's hand with the other, and walked inside, saying, come in, undress. Yi Fan blushed and hugged himself, exclaiming, Master, even the hungry and thirsty don't need to do this, right? Maintain your dignity. Master, blushing at his words, couldn't help but feel embarrassed. Resistance to opening his mouth, Master said, I am over 1,000 years old, older than your grandmother. Why would I be interested in you? I want you to take off your clothes for inspection. Yi Fan hesitated at the door, thinking, at 30, like a wolf, at 40, like a tiger, being an old virgin of many years, how can I understand if you are perverted? Thinking so, Yi Fan sat down and took off his shirt, but continued to think, moreover, if we count by age, I have lived more than 99 lifetimes, you are not older than me. Master observed Yi Fan's body and thought in horror, strange, no cultivation. How can he handle the stone of great power, save Ziyan? Is it too unrealistic? He must be hiding his true power. She leaned in close and whispered behind Yi Fan's back, "Good disciple, while there is no one around, you can tell me your true cultivation, I will keep it a secret for you." Yi Fan blushed, sweating, thinking, "Oh, those eyes, that demeanor, and still saying nothing to me." Thinking so, he spoke. "Master, my strength compared to others is just like that of a child, just a normal mortal," the master thought to himself as he paused. A child, could it be that he's saying he's already reached Yuaning? It's only been 2 months since he entered the sect, and I'm only at the 5th level of Yuaning. The immortal heavenly Tao body is truly powerful, hopefully our Ziyun sect will have something to look forward to. Yi Fan, wearing a robe, looked up at his master in contemplation. "Are you really okay, master? Should I be worried about you?" The master turned back, smiling happily. "I understand, disciple. Keep up your training. Oh, wait, have some fun. I really value you." Yi Fan puzzled. "Do you even know what you're talking about?" With that, the master flew off, leaving Yi Fan pondering, "I'll go to Jingming Lake later, my fishing equipment is still there." As the master flew away, he smiled to himself, "My disciple is truly humble, already at Yuaning and still surpassing me. In half a month, he'll surely overtake me. By then we will give this master title to it, before that we will take care of it." The 9-tailed spirit fox lay in the arms of the master satisfied thinking, "Good, escaped from that evil demon, although there is still a contract but at least it won't be turned into breakfast." The sect master placed the 9-tailed spirit fox into a small house in the forest, thinking to himself, "The matter of the 9-tailed spirit fox still cannot be discovered by others." At this time another elder came and said, "Junior sister Ziyun, how is your disciple Yi Fan from the pioneer of Jade sect?" She folded her arms and stared at the master saying, "He has been in the sect for 2 months. Still eating and playing without cultivating, even though he has an immortal heavenly Tao body, he cannot waste sect resources like that." The master smiled knowingly and said, "Wasting resources? Not to be afraid to tell you, my obedient disciple has reached Yuaning." The senior sister hearing this burst into tears saying, "Junior sister, I know you want to protect your disciple, but you cannot say such nonsense, ha ha ha, it's hilarious." Ziyun master narrowed her eyes silently saying, "Well, if it's not for wanting to replace the obedient disciple and hide the truth, I must have sent the 9-tailed spirit fox to scare you to death." Just then, hurried footsteps approached, and a voice shouted, "Master, something bad has happened. The second elder is in trouble again," causing both individuals to exclaim in unison, "What?" Yi Fan was casually walking around and overheard some whispers, "Truly pitiful, here we go again," making him curious as he looked over. Yi Fan couldn't help but wonder, what are they looking at? Then he saw a group of disciples huddled together, with someone saying, "I wonder how long this time will last." On the other side where the crowd gathered, an old man with white hair and beard was tightly hugging a crying girl's waist. "Princess, I know I was wrong, please don't leave me." The girl blushed and tried to push him away as she yelled, "Who is your princess? Where is she? Outrageous, everyone come and see." Yi Fan thought to himself, what is going on? So it's second elder. In the group of disciples, 2 of them turned to each other and whispered, "Second elder is truly unfortunate, clearly the strongest disciple in our Ziyun sect." Hearing this, the other person responded, who told him to suddenly want to concoct strange pills and test them on himself. Yi Fan's jaw dropped in shock, thinking, "No way, is it true that second elder's pills have side effects?" Watching second elder and the girl tussle, Yi Fan recalled the master and grand elder of Xiang sect and asked, taking second elder's pills, "Are they going to be okay?" At this moment, the 2 in the sky would have liked to say, "We've already ascended, thanks for your concern." Lost in thought, Yi Fan was startled as second elder grabbed his hand, shouting, "Yun Er, you've come to visit your father. Yun Er, this time I won't let them harm you again. Let's go home to your mother." The disciples behind covered their mouths, snickering, with someone as unconventional as Yi senior brother keeping second elder occupied, we can leave in peace. Ziyun master, rushing over in a panic, shouted, my precious disciple can't be in trouble. The senior sister following behind spoke up. Junior sister, what's the rush? If Yi Fan has reached the yuaning stage, he can handle such situations. She sneered in her heart and thought, let's see how you continue to pretend. Ziyun master regained calmness and confidently said, Grand Elder is right, I have lost. This surprised the Grand Elder. Yi Fan was being hugged tightly by the second elder, crying uncontrollably. The system appeared worried and said, this host is dangerous, please. Before it could finish, Yi Fan glared at it and firmly stated, it's just an old man feeling hurt, what's so dangerous? He inwardly disagreed with himself, but I really don't like being intimate with men like him. The system angrily exclaimed. Why doesn't a man protect himself properly when going out? There have been many tragic cases like this before, can't you see? As soon as the system finished speaking, there was a sudden explosion behind Yi Fan, causing smoke and dust to fill the air. He looked bewildered as the second elder was knocked far away, groaning in pain. Ziyun Master and Grand Elder were shocked and they saw this scene. Master thought to himself happily, this little guy still claims to have no cultivation. Grand Elder also exclaimed, so he is really hiding his true power. Second Elder's mind was dizzy and he said, strange, why am I here? The system feared and sighed, it's not good, the excitement just now has increased the host's power. The disciples of the sect couldn't believe it and said, how is this possible? Yi senior brother pushed second elder out, even though his cultivation is low, he is at the 10th level of chi refining. How could Yi senior brother do that? Sect master ran over and asked cheerfully, are you going fishing? My good disciple. Yi Fan replied, yes, the weather is nice today, perfect for fishing. In his heart, he thought, someone took my breakfast, I haven't even gone fishing yet. Sect master smiled and said, go ahead, take as long as you want to fish. Yi Fan thought to himself, okay, they took me out to play as an excuse to go cultivate, right? Yi Fan respectfully replied with his hands folded. Understood, master's command. He silently praised his master, thinking, I never realized master was so perceptive. The sect's disciples buzzed with discussion, damn, master's attitude, Yi senior brother really is impressive, pushing second elder away like that, and he's already at foundation establishment, going from mortal to foundation establishment in just 2 months, he's a true monster. They all shared a common thought, if we had known Yi senior brother was this exceptional, we would have definitely formed good relations earlier instead of thinking he was useless. Meanwhile, Yi Fan was being nagged by the system, host, you need to walk around anyway. Why not visit the martial arena? You could earn some great rewards. Or the Western Pill Peak. The library? Going to the library wouldn't hurt either. Other disciples gazed at Yi Fan's radiant back, determined to cling to his coattails rather than struggle for 100 years. News of Yi Fan spread throughout the sect. Ziyun sect disciples whispered among themselves, junior brother, stop practicing for a moment. Yi junior brother is heading to Jingming Lake to train. Let's go watch, hurry up. Another person spread the news to his junior brothers. Junior brother heard that Yi senior brother wants to give us guidance at Jingming Lake, don't miss it. Even the junior sisters were informed. Junior sister, Yi senior brother wants to pass on a wonderful skill at Jingming Lake, let's go together. The female disciples then spread the news to others. Senior brother, I heard that Yi senior brother wants to save his life at Jingming Lake, let's go together. Finally, this news reached Ziyun master, but another shocking news emerged, a disciple exclaimed excitedly. Elder, Yi senior brother is amazing, I heard he brought a rare phenomenon to Jingming Lake. Grand Elder exclaimed in amazement. Really? Resounded, Ziyun master smiled, crossed her arms and said contentedly. These disciples are truly something, spreading rumors like this, I must caution them carefully, she said before hurriedly leaving, causing Grand Elder to mock her. If you want to go see, just go, what's the point of acting so grandiose? Yi Fan was disappointed in fishing at Jingming Lake. At the moment, I had no idea that behind me, there were countless disciples secretly watching me. They looked at me with glittering eyes, whispering praises. Senior Yi, your fishing posture is really impressive. Perfect movements, carefree behavior, but why do I feel no spiritual energy fluctuations? It must be because my level is too low, I need to learn more. The sect master and Grand Elder also arrived to observe from behind the bushes. The master exclaimed excitedly, have our disciples brought a celestial treasure yet? The Grand Elder furrowed his brow, reminding, Master, pay attention to your image. Sitting in front of numerous curious eyes, Yi Fan felt a sense of unease. Quietly thinking to himself, strange, why is it suddenly so cold in the summer? It's like being watched by many creepy eyes. Standing up uneasily, Yi Fan started to walk away, murmuring, it's so cold, I should head back early to avoid getting sick. Master Ziyun saw Yi Fan leaving and immediately stepped out from the bushes, shouting, what are you all doing? Hurry back and continue your cultivation for me. The disciples quickly responded, yes, and dispersed in a hurry, leaving the Grand Elder looking helplessly at the master, wondering. You still have the nerve to speak? Yi Fan returned to the courtyard, holding a basket of fish, muttering to himself. Today's harvest is quite good, let's have fish soup. The system suddenly appeared determined and loudly said, no matter how many times it collapses, I will not give up. Host, your home's door has appeared for attendance, go there to receive an extraordinary reward. Yi Fan stepped on the circle under the floor immediately lit up, the system excitedly announced, congratulations host, you have successfully checked in. It took out a large small bottle and introduced, this super experience water bottle can help the person directly ascend to the Yuaning first level. Also giving a chance to comprehend the heavenly Tao, the system cried with joy, thinking silently, success, finally the host has successfully checked in. It raised the bottle again and continued, host, now you. Before it could finish, Yi Fan interrupted, oops, forgot to water the flowers. Yi Fan grabbed the water bottle in the system's hand indifferently saying, luckily there's water for the flowers here. Yi Fan directly poured the super experience water bottle into the lotus flower pot by the door, making the system frustrated and silently shedding tears of disappointment. How could it be so difficult for the host to complete the task once? The night scene was peaceful, the flower pot that Yi Fan watered earlier suddenly grew larger, then a big leaf fell down, the lotus flower at this moment bloomed with a beam of light, on its body grew eyes, nose, and mouth, the flower trembled and shouted, what's going on? A plant like me receiving cultivation to become a demonic cultivator. The lotus flower stretched its body out and flew through the clouds and said, it is the grace bestowed by Master Yi Fan, I will definitely remember it clearly. The lotus flower stretched so high that it could see the fairies working on the clouds. The mountain where Yi Fan was located was now glowing brightly as the flower soared straight up carrying a beam of light that pierced the sky. Making the mountain shine strangely, the sect disciples who saw it were surprised and exclaimed, look quickly, a supernatural phenomenon in heaven and earth, Senior Brother Yi is truly divine, so Senior Brother Yi is worried that we might not see the supernatural phenomenon so he displayed it in the evening. They knelt down bowing their heads in reverence and exclaimed, Senior Brother Yi, you are truly admirable, you are our idol. Feeling it, we feel the truth of cultivation. Ziyun Master and Grand Elder also looked up at the sky at this moment. Grand Elder was dazzled by the bright light, covering her eyes and saying, it's too dazzling. The Master nodded and said, so it turns out that Yi Fan's intention to bring the wonders of heaven and earth is not just a rumor. Sect Master raised his hands in excitement and shouted, our Ziyun sect is about to rise. Grand Elder hurriedly followed, shouting, the vision, Master, the vision. Early the next morning, an enthusiastic disciple carried 2 baskets of vegetables, thinking to himself, today I get to bring vegetables to eat Senior Brother again. How wonderful. At that moment, a voice startled him, stop right there, stop for me. He turned around nervously and stammered, senior brothers, what do you want? The group of disciples threatened, nicely hand over all the vegetables and leave, or else don't blame us. The young man, pale with fear, said, I'm sorry, but this is not allowed. Furthermore, the sect strictly prohibits disciples from fighting. The other disciples ignored him and aggressively said, as long as we don't use true chi when we fight you, it won't be considered a real battle. He waved his hand to command the men behind him, attack. When they reached the basket of vegetables, the young man tried to hold on tightly and shouted, don't even think about touching these vegetables. Both sides immediately started fighting without holding back. He yelled, what's going on here, and heard someone shout back, are you demon beasts disguised as humans? What kind of monstrous power does this little guy have? It hurts like hell. After a while of fighting, the young man finally managed to defeat the disciples. Although he was injured quite a bit, he still smiled. Holding the basket of vegetables happily murmured to himself, Senior Brother Yi, come here. Ziyun Master stood on top of a high mountain, with other disciples beside him. She watched a large eagle flying towards her, and spoke, Ziyun sect and Huiyu Mountain have never encroached on each other's territory, why are you here today? The eagle arrogantly replied, don't worry, we from Huiyu Mountain don't even bother to look at your ragged place. We came for the nine-tailed spirit fox. Master immediately said, I have never seen the nine-tailed spirit fox before. Eagle stared at the master and menacingly said, if you don't cooperate honestly. It flew up aggressively flapping its wings, opening its mouth wide and shouted, then we will fight until you listen to me. Ziyun Master and disciples were amazed for a moment, immediately rushed forward, engaging in fierce combat creating dazzling bright lights. After a while, the fierce eagle was now all injured and gasping for breath. Looking at Ziyun Master, she sneered, what now? Want to continue fighting? Eagle remained silent, thinking to itself, it seems that the news about Ziyun sect having the nine-tailed spirit fox is true. Wait for me to report back to the king, immediately destroy Ziyun sect. It quickly turned its head in anger and flew away flapping its wings. Ziyun Master immediately chased after and shouted, don't even think about running, then directly struck with a fist, causing Eagle to dizzy and fall down. Ziyun Master also did not expect to be so strong, sweating and saying, this time, I have to jump to the main event. On the other side, Yi Fan, holding food from the kitchen, stepped out. Watching the teenager delivering vegetables earlier sweeping the room, he opened his mouth and said, Li Junior Brother, stop doing that, wash your hands and come eat. Li Junior Brother sat down and looked at the food on the table with sparkling eyes, praising, Yi Senior Brother's food smells so good. Yi Fan smiled inwardly, in the 99 past lifetimes, my mind was only focused on cultivation, now I will treat myself kindly, enjoying gourmet food. Suddenly, the door burst open, a gust of wind sweeping the table. Li Junior Brother startled and stuttered, this is demon energy. A giant rough foot rushed in, causing him to gasp in horror. The giant eagle of Huiyu Mountain clamped down on Yi Fan and Li Junior Brother with its 2 feet. Aggressively approaching the sect master, threatening loudly, if you dare come near me, I will kill these two. Yi Fan showed a cold face, while Li Junior Brother looked down with fearful eyes. Sect master of Ziyun sect seethed in anger and muttered, don't you dare touch my disciples, my treasures. Ziyun Master reached out to stop the other disciples behind him, calmly speaking, release them, and we will let you go. Eagle opened his mouth wide and shouted, do you think I'll believe you? I'll take them away, and if any of you dare to follow, I'll kill them immediately. Yi Fan, hearing Eagle's words, felt a surge of anger but maintained a nonchalant facade. Li, his junior brother, stammered, Yi Senior Brother, but his eyes lit up with admiration, thinking, Yi Senior Brother isn't afraid at all, truly deserving of being my idol. Meanwhile, Yi Fan furrowed his brow in irritation, thinking, the delicacies I painstakingly researched, destroyed just like that. The system appeared, catching Yi Fan's attention, and announced, Great Majestic Heavenly Dragon ready, causing Yi Fan's entire body to be enveloped in a bright golden spiritual weapon aura. The sudden burst of spiritual energy overwhelmed Eagle, who screamed in pain, before collapsing to the ground. The sect master, witnessing the scene, broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, Yi Fan is as formidable as I expected. She approached Yi Fan with a smile and said, "My precious disciple, would you like to become a master for fun?" Without hesitation, Yi Fan replied, "No, thank you." After a while, Yi Fan and the master returned to their quarters. She looked at the messy room, opening her mouth to say, "Come on, let me get you a new set of furniture." Master Ziyun followed behind Yi Fan, sweetly reminding him of something. "That's right, obedient disciple, at the exchange meeting in half a month, you should." Before she could finish her sentence, Yi Fan cut in, saying, "Master, there are demon beasts available here, would you like to come over for dinner tonight?" Looking at the eagle he had just taken down, the master hesitated for a moment before saying, "I will come back tonight." Yi Fan sat down, with bright eyes looking at the eagle. He grabbed its feathers and pulled, finding no resistance, he started preparing to cook it. At that moment, the system appeared and said, "Host, go to other sects' check-in locations, there is a chance to receive divine treasures and benefits, cutting demon beasts is as easy as pie." Yi Fan quickly sharpened his knife without responding. The system continued, "Congratulations, host has received." "Forget it, you don't care anyway," it said in a tone of frustration before stopping. Junior brother Li then brought a bowl of water and called out, "Yi senior brother. I don't understand something," Yi Fan replied, "Tell me." Li junior brother then said, "Previously, master arranged for me to go on a blind date. At first, we had a great conversation, but then she asked some questions and suddenly said she wanted to leave." Yi Fan, puzzled, asked, "What was the issue?" Li junior brother explained, "Basically, she asked about what our family does, how many industrial estates we have, if we have any spirit beasts or horses, the rules and regulations, etc. Of course, I honestly told her that our family only works on farming within the city, we don't have any industrial estates, spirit beasts, or horses." Upon hearing this, Yi Fan sighed and said, "That's how it is, but it's not your fault, Li junior brother, have dinner here tonight, master won't say anything." Li junior brother hesitated but happy, his eyes shining, silently thinking, Yi senior brother is gentle and caring, if possible, I will definitely repay him with my life. Li junior brother propped his chin up, thinking, when it comes to Yi senior brother, no matter how beautiful a woman is, she will always be calm and unruffled. But for me, he hugged the person he was staring at wide-eyed and trembling, whispering, "Could it be, senior brother knows who I am." That evening, Yi Fan stood outside to welcome Master Ziyun and Ziyen to his house. Ziyen smiled and said, "Yi junior brother, it's been a while since we last met." Yi Fan also happily said, "Hello third senior sister, let's have a meal together." The three of them entered the house and sat down, watching Ziyen and Yi Fan chat harmoniously. Master smiled contentedly, thinking to himself, such sweetness, the atmosphere of these young people is really good. Yi Fan stood up and took out a small bag, handing it to Master and said, "These are all for you." Ziyin Master accepted it in amazement, feeling excited and proud in her heart, such talent, rigorous cultivation, and filial piety like this, having good disciples like this, I am truly happy. At that moment, Li junior brother carried a large cloth bag on his shoulder, standing outside the door and calling loudly, "Yi senior brother, if there's nothing else, I will head down the mountain now." Yi Fan looked over and replied okay immediately, then reminded, "Pay attention to the trash." Ziyen walked up to Yi Fan and bowed, saying, "In the past, thanks to my junior brother's help, I was able to survive. In the future, wherever Ziyen can go, I will not refuse." Yi Fan smiled and said, "Senior sister is too kind. We are all fellow disciples, no need to be so polite." Ziyen watched his figure and thought to herself, "Junior brother is already in the Yuaning realm, while I am only at the foundation establishment stage. How can I repay him?" Li junior brother stopped by the roadside with a large bag and suddenly noticed something protruding from the top of the bag. Exclaiming, "Huh," and taking it out to see that it was a book, Li junior brother hesitantly said, "This is," and then remembered Yi Fan's earlier reminder to pay attention to the trash. He quickly opened the book with excitement, saying, "If Yi senior brother wants me to pay attention to trash, then reading a little shouldn't hurt." As he read the words in the book, Li junior brother stammered, This is the eternal immortality technique. He joyfully hugged the book and said, with such an incredible skill, there's no way Yi senior brother would carelessly throw it away as rubbish. He must have used the excuse of taking out the trash to secretly give me this supreme skill manual. Filled with determination, Li junior brother exclaimed, "Father, mother, your son will finally make a name for himself." That night, in his room, Li junior brother hid under the covers, secretly reading the book. He thought to himself, this precious skill can't be discovered by anyone else. He read attentively and pondered, I need to find a completely safe place to hide it. The bed and the basement are out, the wardrobe isn't safe either. And neither are the drawers. At that moment, an idea sparked in his mind, and he exclaimed internally, got it. He quickly tucked the skill manual inside his pants, confidently thinking, this spot is absolutely safe, no one will find it here. Li junior brother sat up and closed his eyes, beginning to focus on cultivating according to the skill. Step 1, start by circulating true qi through the body for 1 cycle. Half a month later, a large spaceship appeared in the sky above Ziyun sect. The disciples below looked up in awe and couldn't help but marvel at the sight. The spaceship of the Tianqing sect is really big, a disciple suddenly said. Tianqing Taoist has the power of the 7th Yuaning level, other masters can't keep up, including our master, another person standing nearby said. I heard that the Ziyun sect can capture a 9-tailed spirit fox. What will Tianqing sect do? If they can't get it, will they break in, destroy someone's house? In the Ziyun hall, at this moment, a woman entered and called out, Master, then said, or should you ask Yi Fan if he can participate in this battle? The master hesitated, I asked before, but the disciple refused to go, so whatever happens, at least Zi Yan can play a match tomorrow. She looked out the window and thought to herself, as long as Yi Fan can grow successfully, Ziyun sect will surely become the top sect of the 9 major sects, even with a chance to become the top treasure holder of the eastern wilderness. On the side of Li junior brother, after days of training, he looked at the light radiating from his hand and silently felt grateful. Truly the grace of Yi senior brother. I've successfully cleared half of my meridians, Li junior brother exclaimed, standing up and eagerly tucking the skill book back into his pants. Give me another 2 months, and I'll clear all my meridians. Yi senior brother, just wait for me. At that moment, a middle-aged man approached the door and spoke to him, when Qin got injured during training 2 days ago. You'll be taking his place in tomorrow's intersect competition. Li junior brother pointed to himself in disbelief, senior brother when Qin is at Qi refining level 5, and I'm only at level 4. If I replace him, I'll just get beaten to death. The man turned away, waving his hand nonchalantly, you won't die. Just fight however you like. He left Li junior brother standing there, face dark with frustration, crying internally, I've only been cultivating for half a month and haven't even reached the peak of Qi refining yet. In the courtyard, groups of people gathered, chattering excitedly. The matches in the Golden Elixir group are more balanced, both sides have wins and losses. The Foundation Establishment group is just tragic. Except for Zi Yan, everyone got knocked out right away. The announcement echoed through the stands, next round, in the Qi refining group, He Mu of Tianqing sect versus Li Mingbai of Ziyun sect. Upon hearing his name being called, Li junior brother's face turned pale with fear as he silently recalled how those from other sects had previously sparred with He Mu, only to reluctantly stay in bed for half a month afterwards. At this point, the crowd began discussing how He Mu was at the 5th stage of Qi cultivation, while Li Mingbai was only at the 4th stage, making it seem like he would be defeated in an instant. Li Mingbai became even more frightened upon hearing this, internally screaming why his opponent had to be He Mu. He feared he would be turned into a plant in no time, and in the upcoming fight, he would immediately find himself lying on the ground, feeling more embarrassed than hurt. Clenching his fists tightly against his thighs, Li Mingbai stepped onto the stage in a terrified manner, causing He Mu to smugly assure him that he would go easy and maybe just make him stay in bed for half a month. As the cheers from outside continued, Ziyun Master watched the scene and let out a deep sigh, while Li Mingbai rubbed his chin, calculating in his head whether he could pretend to be natural and not be discovered in a moment. He Mu laughed heartily and said, "Haha, let's end this quickly." On his hand, a burst of golden spiritual energy surged like fire, immediately rushing towards Li Mingbai. He struck straight at Li Mingbai's abdomen, but he stood there without any reaction. He Mu couldn't believe it, thinking to himself, one blow is enough to knock down a level 4 Qi cultivator, what is happening here? Li Mingbai looked down at the bright golden light emanating from He Mu's clenched fist, not affecting him at all. He also wondered silently, why does it feel like He Mu's speed is slow, and it's soft without any power? He Mu didn't believe it, punching Li Mingbai again, but nothing happened as before. He Mu gritted his teeth and said, "Little guy. What is this?" Li Mingbai thought He Mu was holding back, quickly spoke up, "Senior brother He Mu, while I appreciate your gentle approach, is it clear that you are pretending in this match?" He Mu was enraged, immediately saying, "Do you people from Ziyun sect only know how to take hits? Do you dare to compete with me or not?" Upon hearing this, Li Mingbai pondered. He Mu's senior brother said it made sense, being hit like that is a waste of time. He reached out to provoke him and then fell down easily. Thinking about it, he shouted, "Okay," then jumped up, closed his eyes tightly, and shouted loudly, as senior brother said. Li Mingbai slapped He Mu directly in the face, knocking him out a distance and falling down. Li Mingbai looked puzzled and said, "Huh. I didn't use much strength at all." Master Ziyun sect smiled happily and thought to himself, "I knew it, my disciple is just lying for not going to the match. He has already arranged for Li Mingbai to be good." Others saw He Mu lying on the stretcher being carried out and immediately started gossiping. One person in disbelief said, "What's going on? He Mu was hit so hard he fainted." Another person looked over at Li Mingbai standing on the other side and said, "Is that guy cheating already? How can anyone not even withstand a single blow?" An elder with a stern face walked over to them and coldly asked, "Do you doubt that the judgment of our 7 major sects will help Ziyun sect?" The person who just said that Li Mingbai cheated now immediately stammered, saying, "Indeed, truly impossible." Li Mingbai at this moment was confused, he stared at his own hand and said, "I understand now, this must be the effect of the eternal immortality technique, I feel like I can still fight on." Li Mingbai gripped his hand with fighting spirit. On this side, Eagle bowed respectfully to inform another giant bird, and after a while it said, "That's all the intelligence." The mighty bird spread its wings, its eyes filled with evil energy. It was the Silver-Eyed Eagle King, the ruler of Huayu Mountain. Silver-Eyed Eagle King silently thought in his head, Ziyun sect doesn't hesitate at all. Causing harm to both sides just to kill our junior, it seems that the 9-tailed spirit fox is truly in their hands. Silver-Eyed Eagle King flapped its wings, its eyes filled with sinister intentions. "Let's go, it's time." They even dared to remind the cultivator to watch out for who speaks in that area. "Wait for me to snatch the demon pill of the 9-tailed spirit fox. In the future, the position of the #1 demon king in the eastern wilderness will be mine." Having spoken, the Silver-Eyed Eagle King led the way, spreading his mighty wings and soaring high up into the sky before disappearing. Back at the competition venue, everyone watched intently as Li Mingbai enthusiastically defeated each opponent, causing them to fly far away. The elder then loudly announced, "Li Mingbai is victorious. Is there anyone else here who wishes to step onto the arena for a challenge?" Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao quickly replied, "I will not go, losing face in a fight is not worth it. And I'll have to lie in bed for half a month. Whoever wants to can go." Li Mingbai thought joyfully, "I really want to shout out, is there anyone else? But would saying that tarnish the sect's reputation?" Up above, a middle-aged man with long green hair sitting next to Ziyun Master spoke up, "Ziyun Taoist, I never expected your sect to possess such great power. Ziyun Master modestly replied, Tian Qing Taoist, you are too kind. In the end, he is just a Qi training disciple. Tian Qing Taoist responded with an, oh really, before continuing, by the way, I heard that a nine-tailed spirit fox recently came to your place, is that true? Ziyun Master was startled and gritted his teeth. The elder who had been below the martial arts arena earlier sneered, thinking to himself. Tian Qing Taoist then began questioning Ziyun Master, who evaded the question and spoke. Tian Qing Taoist thought for a while, believing it was just a fabricated rumor as Ziyun's sect did not possess such luck. In her heart, she cursed Xiang's sect, only causing harm to others without benefiting herself. Tian Qing Taoist placed the tea cup on the table, speaking coldly, everyone understood, to stop doing useless things. He exuded a terrifying aura, his eyes full of malice as he said that if the nine-tailed spirit fox was not handed over today, the consequences would be clear. Ziyun Master frowned, then angrily approached him, causing the disciples behind him to panic and call out, Master. Tian Qing Taoist raised 3 fingers and said he would give him 3 seconds to think, after which Ziyun's sect would no longer exist. He began counting down. Ziyun hesitated, wondering if he had to hand it over, as his disciples would not be able to advance. But what about the lives of the entire sect? Tian Qing Taoist continued to count down sternly, 2. He then remarked, it seems that Ziyun Zhenren is a stubborn one. He furrowed his brows and shouted, 1, time's up, die. He raised his hand, channeling spiritual energy to strike, when a gloomy voice interrupted, oh, are cultivators having an internal dispute? Tian Qing Taoist halted his attack and looked over, eyes widening in alarm, half-step divinity. In front of him stood a massive eagle radiating bright, fiery light. Tian Qing Taoist exclaimed, Silver-eyed Eagle King, and it's surrounded by Yuaning stage demon beasts. They must have emerged from Huiyu Mountain. The Silver-eyed Eagle King is nearing the end of its life. Has it come here for the blood of the nine-tailed spirit fox? The Silver-eyed Eagle King stared intently at the building atop the mountain, mumbling, so, that's where it is. Back in Yifan's kitchen at Pioneer of Jade, he picked up a book and said, Yellow flour, pine nut chicken, if only I still had some eagle demon meat left. But using ground pig meat will work too. The taste won't be much different, Yifan said as he began cooking. Suddenly, the system urgently notified him, Host, the nine-tailed spirit fox is in danger. Please hurry to rescue it. Yifan, however, remained indifferent, focusing on washing vegetables. The system felt dejected and helpless. It sighed internally, what am I even expecting anymore? Activating emergency retrieval function. The system reluctantly decided to initiate the emergency function. Unexpectedly, a rift appeared above, and the nine-tailed spirit fox fell through, landing in the sink where Yifan was standing. Mouth agape in shock, Yifan grabbed the fox and lifted it from the water. The nine-tailed spirit fox sighed and thought. Master, did you save me? You don't know how scary the demon energy outside was, it almost scared me to death. Yifan patted the fox's head and remarked, you've gained quite a bit of weight compared to 2 weeks ago. Sensing his gaze, the nine-tailed spirit fox panicked and ran away, eyes brimming with tears and terror. It thought frantically, why did I ever think he would be kind? Help, someone save me. Yifan grabbed its tail and said, the energy is rich, the quality of meat of this thing must be better than pork. Congratulations on coming back. The silver-eyed eagle king and another golden-feathered eagle flying in the sky exchanged, it seems like the aura has changed places. I didn't expect that the larvae of a nine-tailed spirit fox could also teleport. The silver-eyed eagle king revealed its fierce eyes and replied, so what if it can teleport? It can enhance magical talents several times, quickly follow me. Saying that, the silver-eyed eagle king immediately changed direction and flew away. The disciples of the Ziyun sect pointed in that direction and exclaimed. Master, they changed direction, it seems like the direction is, Ziyun Master then exclaimed, it's the Pioneer of Jade. In the blink of an eye, the master shot off like an arrow, leaving a loud shout in the sky, "It's not good, our sect's treasure." Tianqing Taoist asked a female elder of the Ziyun sect nearby, "Your sect master has also chased after, why aren't you all acting?" The Grand Elder replied, "We are not rivals of the Silver-Eyed Eagle King, so how should we act? It's you who should take action. Isn't it you who wants to steal Nine-Tailed Spirit Fox? Use your power to overwhelm the fellow sect disciples, why not go steal from the Silver-Eyed Eagle King instead?" Grand Elder Ziyun sect thought silently after speaking, although Yi Fan was very strong before, Silver-Eyed Eagle King is also a pseudo-divinity, they cannot fight, it is better to follow, at least they can protect the master and Yi Fan. In Yi Fan's kitchen at this time, the nine-tailed spirit fox treasure sat in a pot, next to Yi Fan who was enthusiastically sharpening a knife. He was saying, "The best ingredients often need to be cooked over low heat, first crush the shallots, ginger, garlic into the water, then add a spoon of salt, 2 spoons of soy sauce and an appropriate amount of cooking wine, close the lid then say, that's it, taste it first, pluck the hair later, which will be easier, also prepare some sliced ham." The system panicked and screamed, "Host is about to face a fierce battle, please quickly log in and receive the reward," but before he could hear clearly, the claws of the Silver-Eyed Eagle King behind him rushed forward, quickly capturing Yi Fan. Make the Eagle King surprised and amazed, the Silver-Eyed Eagle King grabbed him by the foot and flew straight into the sky, laughing loudly, saying, Caught you." But upon closer inspection, Yi Fan muttered, "Isn't that the nine-tailed spirit fox? Let's go catch it again." Master Ziyun stood below, anxiously calling out to his disciple, and others quickly rushed over. Taoist Tianqing looked up at the sky and thought silently, "Is the nine-tailed spirit fox hidden inside again, or who is that?" Yi Fan yawned, covering his mouth with his hand, and as Silver-Eyed Eagle King landed, Ziyun Master approached and asked, "Where is the nine-tailed spirit fox, dear disciple? Wasn't it already killed?" The others glanced at Master Ziyun, and Grand Elder silently thought, "So he's worried about it." At this point, Silver-Eyed Eagle King remained silent, and Tianqing Taoist, seeing Yi Fan's indifferent expression, wondered why the junior wasn't afraid of the Eagle King at all. Master Ziyun showed no signs of worry at all. Could he be that powerful? The Silver-Eyed Eagle King pondered, furrowing its brows in anger. "It's just a child, these human cultivators are so annoying. I'll just crush him and throw him back to them," the system urgently shouted, "Warning, warning, host in danger." Reflecting on past events, it sighed, "Forget it, it's better if I handle this myself." Yi Fan's body erupted with a dazzling light, surprising the Silver-Eyed Eagle King, who screamed in rage, "What kind of attack is this? Could he be a divinity?" A massive explosion ensued, with smoke and flames filling the air, and debris flying everywhere. The Silver-Eyed Eagle King lay unconscious among other birds, feathers scattered around. Meanwhile, Yi Fan lay peacefully, using the eagle's wing as a pillow, having fallen asleep without anyone noticing. A young man shouted in terror, "Did he just kill it?" He took out hundreds of Yuaning stage eagle demons in an instant. Tianqing Taoist, now visibly shaken, exclaimed, "This junior. No, this must be some ancient monster in disguise. He is worried and thinking. Just now we insulted Ziyun's sect like that, or is he purposely reminding us?" Tianqing Taoist stood behind Ziyun Master, clasping his hands and said, "It is indeed Ziyun's sect, with a full background. This great power in the future will definitely be able to dominate the eastern wilderness. Unfortunately, today we rushed out without showing respect. The little Taoist asks for permission to leave first. Our sect still has its own business, we will visit another day." Ziyun Master said in a stern voice. "You cannot leave." Immediately Tianqing Taoist was blocked by 2 disciples of Ziyun sect. Ziyun Master continued. "The exchange event has not finished, why the rush?" Tianqing Taoist blushed and exclaimed. No. No, we will withdraw all rights in the future." Master Ziyun sect sneered. "Withdraw what?" Are you not afraid that others will say that our Ziyun sect is bullying others by coming from far away? Yes, we had some unpleasant incidents before, but as the head of Ziyun sect, I cannot force you to leave because of those trivial things, right? On the contrary, should we have to give gifts to apologize? Taoists and members of other sects were sweating in fear, thinking to themselves, is this what's in their hearts? Certainly that's what's in their hearts, right? No need to be so gentle, right, monks? We've known each other for 1,000 years, does this wicked woman really need to speak so softly? Master Ziyun looked at the Grand Elder and said, Grand Elder, take these friends to the rear courtyard to rest for a few days. They must have been frightened by encountering many demon beasts today. The master gritted his teeth and whispered to the Grand Elder, keep them tight, don't let them escape. The Grand Elder hesitated and asked, are you telling me to carry out those treatments? The sect master smiled and said loudly, that's right, Grand Elder. Everyone meets regularly, just sincerity is enough, don't be too familiar, kill and strip the bone. The Grand Elder respectfully replied, all right, I understand. The sect master looked at Taoist Tian Qing and said, Tian Qing, your great birthday is coming in a few days, isn't it? The old man quickly denied. Not at all, there's no need to arrange any grand celebration for me, Yi Fan said. Ziyun master replied, at that time, our Ziyun sect will definitely prepare a grand ceremonial gift for you. Sitting down in a daze, he thought to himself, the Tian Qing sect is finished, they're going bankrupt, they won't even be able to keep their pots and pans. Ziyun master walked over to Yi Fan and said, my precious disciple is so strong, in just 2 months you've gone from mortal to the realm of divinity. It seems heaven is blessing our Ziyun sect. The other elders joyfully added, Yi Fan is probably not just an immortal heavenly Tao body, he might be a reincarnation of a great power. Another elder said, even if a great power loses the memories of their past life, their skills can still be inherited. If they can resonate with other disciples, our Ziyun sect will prosper. Yi Fan ran towards the door, waving his hand, and said, Master and elders, I feel dirty and need to wash up a bit. Master watched him and replied, take your time, my precious disciple, there's no rush. We still have to deal with the demon beasts. Master and the other elders come to surround the silver-eyed eagle king for inspection. One person speaks up, so many eagle demons, it seems like it will be quite a hassle. Another elder also chimes in, if you pluck the feathers of the silver-eyed eagle king, you can make a very good magic weapon. Ziyun master agrees, saying, elder is right, I want to use the feathers of that beast to make warm clothing for my disciples. 10 minutes later, the majestic silver-eyed eagle king now lies miserably on the ground with all its feathers plucked. Ziyun master remarks, this should be enough, indeed, handling demon beasts is not easy. She remembers Tian Qing Taoist and the silver-eyed eagle king. Thinking to herself, it seems like something very important has happened. The other disciples at this time discuss, it smells good, is it time for dinner? Another young man then says, I have smelled this fragrance before in Yi Fan senior brother's kitchen, it's demon beast meat. Ziyun master suddenly wakes up and exclaims, nine-tailed spirit fox meat, before rushing off. Sect master quickly runs to Yi Fan's kitchen and goes straight in. At this moment, the nine-tailed spirit fox is lying in the pot facing death. The master screams in horror, my little darling. The nine-tailed spirit fox opens its eyes dazedly and sees Master Ziyun breathing a sigh of relief, saying, luckily we discovered it early, it was really scary. The nine-tailed spirit fox looks at the master with a blank expression, then bursts into tears and sobs, oh, you've finally come, I was about to meet my ancestors. The master embraces it and comforts, don't cry, my little darling. Your junior apprentice may not spare you, but I will. Yi Fan's voice rings out, I was still confused about how that little guy managed to open the pot. It turns out it was the master who did it. He walks over with a big knife, smiling, I thought demon beast blood was beneficial. If I had known earlier, I would have taken the blood first. Seeing Yi Fan approaching with a frightening look and a weapon, the nine-tailed spirit fox screams in horror. Ah, 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 he looks at the master and says, "Master, you don't have to rush. I'm about to make you a pot of fox meat stew." The nine-tailed spirit fox clings to the master in fear, screaming loudly, "Save me." The sect master also worriedly hugged it and said, "Disciple, are you the five elements water beast? Otherwise, why does your brain contain so much water, even killing the spiritual pet?" Yi Fan nonchalantly replied, "In my eyes, my spiritual pet is just a piece of meat. If it needs to be killed, then so be it." The sect master hugged the nine-tailed spirit fox, showing a pitiful and weak expression, staring at him and said, "But before you agreed to give it to me." Yi Fan pondered with his head in his hands, "I admit that the master is indeed a beautiful and lovely young woman, even though I think you are over 1,000 years old, it still feels very strange." Yi Fan compromised. "All right, go, go, while I was roasting the Eagle King, the master still needs some other ingredients." Before he could finish his sentence, the master and the nine-tailed spirit fox had already disappeared, leaving only a word, "I will prepare immediately." Yi Fan was speechless, "I haven't finished speaking yet." That night, all of the Ziyun sect smelled a delicious meat scent, and in the dark somewhere, they heard the sound of loud drinking. The group of people who had finished drinking and playing were staggering back. Li Mingbai slung his arm around a companion's shoulder and slurred, "You guys have such short vision. This morning, you only saw Yi senior brother make a move, but you didn't understand his intentions." The puzzled companion asked, "Li senior brother, what do you mean?" Li Mingbai turned around and replied, "Yi senior brother defeated the Kim Dragon Gang. Did you all see that? Let me ask you, when Eagle King appeared while Yi senior brother was fighting, what happened?" Another young man asked in confusion, "What do you mean by intentions?" Li Mingbai sighed and said, "You fools, how can you not see the simple truth?" The disciples immediately started questioning, "Li senior brother, are you saying that Yi senior brother directly intervening was a show of mercy towards us?" Li Mingbai pointed at the person's chest and said, "Correct, you also have potential." Two men behind each other holding wine bottles draped over their shoulders, one asked, "Elder brother, are you drinking again?" The other replied, "No, I haven't even had a bowl of soup with meat all night." Li Mingbai continued speaking. "Then do you know why Yi senior brother, who clearly could have won the exchange conference, staged a show instead? He didn't appear, and the Eagle King suddenly brought out a bunch of demons. Do you think that was a coincidence?" Someone next to him said. "Could it be part of Yi senior brother's plan?" Li Mingbai raised both hands straight up to the sky, holding a wine jug proud and admiringly replied, "That's right, Yi senior brother waited for the Eagle King to arrive and then waited at Pioneer of Jade, embracing the waiting stick, thus defeating the Demon King and his demons, without harming us on the arena. All are Yi senior brother's plan." At this moment, everyone unanimously shouted. "So that's it, Yi senior brother is truly unbeatable, Yi senior brother is awesome, Yi senior brother is awesome." The next morning at Ziyun sect, the fresh air and peaceful scenery suddenly heard a cry for help, a girl being chased by many male disciples of the sect. She screamed in fear, "Help, all the senior brothers have gone crazy." They chased after the female disciple while mocking and laughing, saying, "Senior sister, become the companion of our disciples, Yan Zi senior sister, don't you know how to live with your juniors?" They quickly caught hold of the girl named Yan Zi, pulling her along as they continued to speak. "Senior sister, I want to propose to you," one of them said. Another one squeezed in and added, "Yan senior sister, my lifelong happiness depends on you." Yan Zi, feeling helpless, shouted, "I am fully devoted to cultivating immortals, I really don't want this. Please, go find someone else." A female elder, hiding behind a door, watched this scene in shock, her mouth agape. When she stepped out, she saw two male disciples blushing and hugging each other, one saying, "Brother, you smell so good, I love you," and the other responding, "Brother, I will satisfy you." The female elder blushed furiously. Trying hard to cover her mouth to keep from crying out in alarm, as she continued walking, she saw another girl sitting on the lap of another girl, saying, "Junior sister, you are so beautiful, your skin is so soft, I really want to be with you." The junior sister, shyly, replied, "Sister, please stop touching me, I feel like I am about to ascend to immortality." The elder entered a room, carrying a large bowl of soup, staring at it and thinking, "Good, I used to think the meat of yawning stage demon beasts was priceless. Now, it must be shared with the sect's disciples." Forgot the meat of the extremely gentle yawning beast, the Huiyu mountain has grown a lot, why can't the demon beasts living there not eat? Wait, this soup seems to have something extra, we must quickly inform the master. At the master's residence, a scream was heard, "Hands off Ziyan, my clothes are about to tear." Ziyan rushed to the master and said, "Master, I will not let go, I like you, please take me with you." The master immediately replied, "Fine," then saw Ziyan happily ask, "Really, master?" The master furrowed his brows and said sternly, "False," then pinched her nose. Ziyan rubbed her nose and asked, "Master, why are you like this? Why is your clothes torn?" Master Ziyun handed Ziyan a vial and instructed. "Ziyan, you were affected by the demon beasts earlier, quickly go to the main hall to help the Grand Elder, bring this spirit awakening pill for the disciples to use." Ziyan promptly replied, "Yes," and left. Under the control of the Master and the Grand Elder, the Ziyun sect managed to control the situation, almost becoming He-Huan sect, which has more rules. Chefs are not allowed to use alcohol with demon meat as a reward from now on. Master Ziyun sitting on a tilted chair opened his mouth and said, I didn't expect today's incident was caused by Li Mingbai's drinking. After waking up, I realized the true power of my disciple, like a god, able to foresee many things before and after 50-100 years. Immortal heavenly Tao body is truly abnormal. Master silently remembered, back then, I accidentally found skill instruction books, knowing that immortal heavenly Tao body is very strong. I still have a lot to learn. She immediately took the skill instruction books and read them again. Since then, Ao High Kingdom has an immortal heavenly Tao body cultivator with strong cultivation. At 20 years old, he killed Hai Jiao, entering the divine transformation realm. At 30, he became the king of Ao High Kingdom. At 40, he learned the two palm techniques and mastered them 2 years later. Since then, no one can compare. Reading this, the master thought to herself, could it be that my disciple has secretly learned these palm techniques? If what Li Mingbai and the others say is true, then that incident that day was indeed its plan. Master Ziyun paced around, mumbling to herself. Upon careful consideration, apart from the scalding hot soup causing dizziness, this little guy didn't really suffer any harm that day. The herbs used in it could also mask its aura. So how could normal hot water injure demon beasts? It turns out everything is clear now. It seems that the junior disciple's treasure is attacking the divine transformation realm urgently. In a rush, he couldn't conceal his spiritual weapon in time, so he resorted to this method to resolve it. Afraid of harming others, he used the Eagle King's spiritual pet to lure them away. It's unexpected that the junior disciple's treasure is not only extraordinary but also meticulous in his thinking, she said as she stepped out of the room. Announcing, today's rest is cancelled, elders prepare to follow me to the Tianqing sect for a longevity ceremony. 3 days later, Yi Fan sat in the kitchen, chin in hand, sighing and saying, the pioneer of Jade is too quiet, master has been away for 3 days visiting 8 major sects and still hasn't returned. The system appeared, clapping its hands obsequiously, saying to him, host, why not go check it out or just go chat with your fellow disciples for a few words. Yi Fan irritatedly scratched his head and said, just return the result, no explanation needed, nothing else. This system is really noisy and cunning. First, it creates the illusion of our strength to others. Then, it uses praise from those around us to lower our guard, forcing us to cultivate ourselves. Finally, it feeds us to the wolves, resulting in chaos. The system silently thought, maybe in a few days, I'll go learn from the prodigal system in the neighboring Xiantian mainland and see how it goes. Perhaps he can also change this person. The system crossed its arms and said to him, the login reward for the host has arrived, please proceed to receive the best reward. The system has successfully helped the host receive it. Congratulations to the host for receiving the mysterious creature egg. Yi Fan turned around with an "oh" sound and then went to pick up the mysterious creature egg. The system's eyes gleamed with joy and said, "Host, you are finally cheerful again. This mysterious creature egg, when it hatches, will bring good and bad luck, but at worst, it could be a nine-tailed spirit fox, or even a superior or peak one. The system predicted based on its shiny appearance, it could be a dragon or a phoenix immortal beast." Yi Fan placed the egg in the steamer, satisfied. "Don't worry, it's very clean," the system immediately panicked. "Host, stop that dangerous behavior. The nine-tailed spirit fox is a peak-level existence in the cultivation world. This egg may hatch into an immortal beast, and we can't let it break." An hour later, Yi Fan opened the steamer and was surprised to see the egg glowing and rolling around in the pot without breaking. Yi Fan wondered aloud, why isn't this egg cooked yet? And why is it still angry? The system appeared excitedly and said, the mysterious pet egg has undergone a mutation, but the inside may not be harmed. The mysterious pet egg cracked open, and a small furry hand peeked out. Yi Fan watched in astonishment as the shell gradually broke apart. Suddenly, a small and clever husky appeared inside. Yi Fan exclaimed, "A husky breaking out of an egg?" The little pet rushed towards Yi Fan and barked twice. Yi Fan stepped back in surprise and said, "An egg hatching a husky?" But he still embraced the pet in his arms. He joyfully licked Yi Fan's clothes, and Yi Fan frowned and said, "Don't lick my clothes, your saliva is dirty." The system then announced, "Congratulations host on receiving a mutated immortal beast, a husky mutation, with peak-level immortal beast grade." Yi Fan didn't care and put the husky back in the steamer. The system was shocked and tried to shout, "Defense power is infinite." Yi Fan closed the steamer tightly, and the system yelled, "Attack power is 0." But before it could finish, there was a loud boom as the beast pierced through the steamer lid and flew straight up, creating a hole in Yi Fan's ceiling. Yi Fan looked at the hole and said, "Although I don't eat dog meat, there's still some meat on it, so I'll cook it." But then he sighed and said, "Stop." As night fell, Yi Fan hugged the beast in his arms, and it looked at him and barked once. Yi Fan stood up and looked at the empty bed in the middle of the courtyard, saying quietly, "The first book of the dog is the highest book, the immortal book of heaven." The first thing to do when a dog is born is to remove the ceiling in the house. Husky, excited, burrowed into Yi Fan's shirt, with both of them sitting down playing around, unaware that behind them there were two figures lurking. Looking at his bed, they blinked and flew up into the air. They said, "This dog definitely can't be kept. If you don't have one, at least give us a nine-tailed spirit fox. Besides, quickly take this dog away." After walking to a big tower, Yi Fan stood with arms crossed, next to a small pet placed in a basket, with a note left by Yi Fan saying, "Please take care of it." Husky obediently sat still, wagging its tail, while Yi Fan was silently thinking. This place is 3,000 miles away from the sect, leaving it here won't make it come back. Yi Fan turned around and climbed onto the bed to leave. Before flying away he waved and looked back at it, saying, "Goodbye, that dog." The puppy with bright eyes stared at Yi Fan's back, innocently thinking, "Master disappeared, go find, play hide and seek," then immediately barked excitedly. The night fell. At this moment, there is a woman riding a sword in the air, holding a wine gourd gracefully and reciting poetry. The night breeze is cool, the cold wind is like wet camphor, the talented scholar is standing in the mountains. How many beautiful and pure sceneries, flying across the sea without a trace. Just then, a small flying creature suddenly flew past, causing her to startle and exclaim, "What? A flying dog?" She stood up with interest and said, "A flying puppy must be at the golden elixir stage. If it can be caught as a pet, nothing could be better. In the blink of an eye, a sharp and large sword flew straight towards her. She jerked in horror and couldn't avoid it, taking a hit. She cried out in pain, "I'm ambushed again." A flying ship silently glided by and watched the injured girl fall. At this moment, an old man holding a shining sword in his hand spoke, "Casual cultivators all want to eat me, really don't know their own strength." The red-haired man beside him heard this and said, "That woman Zi Yun is really crazy, even daring to rob the spirit stones of outer disciple. If she can bring back the infant beast at the Yuaning stage today, it can compensate for the heavy losses to our Tianqing sect." The old man immediately recognized something and shouted, "Wait, I sense something." The red-haired man asked, "Really? Then I will take action and catch the beast right away." They quickly rushed down to the ground and saw before them Yi Fan's puppy, happily frolicking in the stream. The red-haired man sneered, "Why do I feel like this demon beast isn't very smart?" The old man snickered and said, "All young beasts are like that, let's see." He walked over and lifted the puppy, examining it from head to tail. When their eyes met as he held the puppy upside down, he thought to himself, "I have found someone in its eyes. The path in my eyes is her reincarnation. I and her have a deep bond." He joyfully exclaimed, "Ha, I was right, the revival of Tianqing sect is because of her." The red-haired man anxiously said, "Please quickly turn it back." At Tianqing sect, in a room, the puppy was placed on the table, surrounded by a group of people silently observing. Tianqing Taoist stroked his beard and said, "Fifth elder, where did you find this treasure? Did no one see it?" The old man, who was the fifth elder of the Tianqing sect, spoke up, "On the road, a casual cultivator crashed into a flying boat. I found his soul and turned him into a fool. To conceal this information, I killed all the cultivators on that road. No other sect will know." Tianqing Taoist turned to the red-haired man and said, "Seventh elder, we will rely on you in the future." The seventh elder smiled and replied, "I will take care of it." The super-cute puppy looked at them and smirked, making Tianqing Taoist smile inwardly, thinking, "This little beast doesn't have any talent. But whether it's pink or blue, any color will do." The puppy stared at a shining object on the table, then bared its teeth and bit into the bright tower in the middle, shocking the fifth elder and seventh elder. It quickly jumped off the table and ran away, leaving Tianqing Taoist and the others stunned. Tianqing Taoist's fiery eyes shouted in anger, "Silly dog, quickly return the Sui Yang lamp here." After a chase, Tianqing Taoist grabbed the dog in anger and said, "Finally caught you, silly dog, let go." He tried to retrieve the Sui Yang lamp from its mouth, but couldn't and thought to himself, "This dog has strong energy." Seventh elder also gritted his teeth and said, "Oh, this silly dog, don't let its saliva touch that Sui Yang lamp," as the dog's saliva poured out. The elders in the distance immediately exclaimed, "Look, the saliva dropped on it." Tianqing Taoist looked at the shining Sui Yang lamp and exclaimed in surprise, "Reflected light? How is it reflected light?" Seventh elder quickly replied, "No, look at the Sui Yang lamp, each color change is clearer." The dog bit hard, and immediately the Sui Yang lamp broke into many colorful pieces. Fifth elder exclaimed, "The Sui Yang lamp, how can it be damaged by a divine stage attack, yet this dog cracked it?" Seventh elder responded, "No, if the spiritual nature of spirit beasts reaches a certain level, they will surpass normal knowledge." Tianqing Taoist hugged the small pet happily laughing loudly, "Aha, Tianqing sect is thriving again." Fifth elder behind him changed his attitude and said, "Wait until this treasure grows up, dominating eastern wilderness will be easy." Seventh elder also said cheerfully, "Next time we will make Zi Yun pay a price." Just then, there was a continuous knocking on the door. Tianqing Taoist handed the puppy to seventh elder and frowned, saying, "Let me go open the door." He walked to the door, looked at the person outside, and said loudly, "What's going on outside?" "We are discussing matters, it's not convenient to open the door." The subordinate outside panicked and said, "Master, there's a problem. Something happened on the other side of the Forbidden Mountain." The sky was dark as ink, the atmosphere desolate and empty. Tian Qing Taoist and the elders of Tian Qing sect went to the Forbidden Mountain to investigate. He solemnly asked, "What happened? Which demon is it? Could there be another sect spying on us?" First, second, third elders, gather the disciples, other elders, hold your positions and prepare to welcome the enemy. At this moment, a voice echoed out, "No need, it's me, quickly welcome my old ancestor here." Tian Qing Taoist exclaimed, "Who dares to impersonate gods or demons? Are you really the old ancestor?" The voice rang out again, and a black circle appeared on the ground surrounded by intricate patterns. Tian Qing Taoist carefully observed and immediately shouted, "This is the heavenly formation created by the old ancestor." Just then, a huge man appeared. The old ancestor had strange eyes without pupils, looking very peculiar, with green hair and a similar appearance to the Tian Qing sect master, but not old. Master Tian Qing approached and said, "This appearance must be the old ancestor." "Are you still alive?" The old ancestor replied in a deep voice, "Over 3,000 years, time flies by quickly." The elders behind quickly knelt down and worshipped, shouting in unison, "Welcome, old ancestor." The old ancestor commanded, "Rise," and continued, "I still need to absorb the spiritual energy of the heaven and earth weapon for another day. Tomorrow will be more conducive to exits. I see you couldn't obtain a real magic weapon earlier, what a pity." Unless Tian Qing sect has a disaster, Master Tian Qing sweated and said, "Yes, old ancestor," then began to tell. After a while, the old angry ancestor said, "Huh? Only at the divine transformation realm? Dare to sit on the head of our Tian Qing sect, tomorrow our old ancestor will help you destroy the Ziyin sect." His whole body emitted a gloomy spiritual weapon. The others immediately knelt down and shouted, "Please follow the old ancestor's orders." After everyone left, the old ancestor began to sit and absorb spiritual weapons to exits. He looked around and thought to himself, "There are too few spiritual weapons, it's difficult to reach the void realm to exits today, it's truly humiliating. The Yuaning juniors have all gone to Ziyin sect. If it continues, they may be skill swallowed, it's better to kill the golden elixir disciples inside the sect for some supplementation." Suddenly he heard whispers behind him. Someone asked, "Amao, have you seen the master's spiritual pet anywhere?" The other replied, "No, early this morning the master and the others went to Ziyun's sect so we didn't see it. I hope it appears soon, or we're in trouble." The other person frowned at you for not keeping watch and talking. The old ancestor slowly approached the evil energy from behind. The two of you were startled and turned back only to be immediately drained of spiritual energy by him. Their mouths gaping dry like a skeleton. He muttered discontentedly, "Still not enough," wondering which spiritual pet they should find. The old ancestor suddenly sensed something, quietly opening his mouth to say, "This type of energy is not as pure as the snow lotus for thousands of years." The old ancestor turned around and was startled to see a dog standing carelessly urinating. He angrily rushed over shouting, "How dare this beast threaten us? Just when I am lacking spiritual energy. I command this sinning beast of yours to die." The dog, unafraid, happily wagged its tail and sprayed a stream, causing the old ancestor to feel pain as if struck by lightning. His body immediately returned to the dark coffin, his face devoid of a drop of blood, lying there wailing that he was about to enter the underworld, yet this beast had sprayed a stone. What kind of creature is this? He exited his body, his ghostly blue face floating out, and upon seeing something, he screamed in horror. "Sheesh, this dog, this beast, you must not dig, do not dig." The dog is currently digging up a large piece of land, staring down at it, it smirks and whispers under its breath, "Awake already? The moment of revenge has come." The dog digs up the soil and rocks below, revealing a glowing coffin tightly sealed by nails, emitting a strange spiritual energy. It approaches and pulls out each golden nail stuck there. The soul of the old ancestor, wide-eyed and startled, exclaims, "Why is the nail array ineffective? The damned beast must not withdraw, withdrawing will dissipate the spiritual weapon. No, this beast senses me, but if my body is revealed now, it will be dissipated." The Yuaning group has all gone. I can only rely on those disciples. The soul of the old ancestor clasps his hands together in concentration, saying, all Tianqing sect disciples quickly gather at the back mountain. The ominous spiritual weapon mysteriously spreads out like smoke everywhere, yet after a while, still no one arrives. The old ancestor wonders in confusion, why is there no reaction at all? Why? It's really annoying. If we had known earlier, we wouldn't have killed those two guys looking for this dog. The puppy kept digging, relentlessly pulling out the nails. The passive thoughts of Husky's book genius were silent, the soul of the old ancestor quietly weeping, desperately kneeling and praying. Little ancestors, the last nail has finally been pulled out, can you please stop digging? All the nails are for you, and don't uncover the coffin lid, little ancestors. The last nail was finally pulled out, the coffin lid opened and flew up carrying the puppy straight up to the sky and then dropped down. The old ancestor of Tianqing sect was bathed in light inside the coffin. Quickly sucked up his soul scattered away, finally turning into a pile of ash lying neatly in the coffin. The puppy still held a nail in its mouth, looking at this scene with an indifferent face. It walked to the surrounding tombstones and smiled happily thinking playing is so fun. At this moment in Ziyun sect, Ziyun master and Yi Fan were sitting in the room talking. The master spoke up, disciple darling, I heard there was a disciple who saw you sitting on a divine weapon flying out for cultivation. Yi Fan crossed his legs on the chair and answered. How do you cultivate? I've never heard of that, master continued to ask. Don't deceive me, if you're not cultivating, then why are you here? Yi Fan looked at her and said, there is something urgent that needs to be done. Master asked further, what is it? At that moment, a disciple rushed in and opened the door, shouting, Master is not well, Tianqing Taoist has brought people here. Ziyun master rubbed her chin and asked herself, how dare they come here? Why are they so bold today? I will go over immediately. She then turned to Yi Fan and said, my dear disciple, I'm going on a trip. Yi Fan waved his hand and said, Master, come back early. Upon hearing this, Master stopped in her tracks and thought to herself, come back early. This little guy still cares about me. Ziyun master went outside and saw the flying boat of the Tianqing sect approaching, and she frowned at the crowded boat. The disciples of Ziyun sect below started to talk, do you people from Tianqing sect have a sickness or something? You keep coming and going, this time the aura is really strong, even from 1,000 miles away, another one said. I think they must have been prepared before coming. Tianqing Taoist stood on the boat, shouting through a loudspeaker, women of Ziyun sect, get out here and let me deliver a gift to you. Ziyun master, feeling irritated, responded, Tianqing Taoist friend, what is the meaning of this today? Tianqing master arrogantly sneered, what do you mean, meaning? Our old ancestor has revived, so prepare to meet your end. Ziyun master, taken aback, said, Tianqing sect's old ancestor. Then thought to herself, could it be that their old ancestor used a secret technique to fake death and resurrect, coming back after 3,000 years? If that's the case, we are in serious trouble. Old ancestor Tianqing was at the 10th level of divinity back then. Even if his cultivation has regressed, we might not be able to match him. She exchanged a glance with the Grand Elder, Ziyun sect is likely in grave danger. Quickly inform all disciples to head to the secret passage immediately. The Grand Elder worriedly asked, Master, what about you? Ziyun master calculated, if old ancestor Tianqing shows up today, we still have our precious disciple. He probably wouldn't dare make a move against me. At this moment, Tianqing Taoist proudly stroked his beard and smirked, speaking up, it seems like your cultivation has been dead for a long time. Whether you are a woman or not, why don't you become my disciple? Enraged, Ziyun master gritted his teeth and replied, do you believe I will gouge your eyes out? Tianqing Taoist provocatively laughed, I really like your eyes, they have a special flavor. The disciples behind him worriedly thought to themselves, what? He dares to say that? If he fails, then, pulling out a large token, he chuckled and said, Haha, it seems that the old ancestor has arrived. Let all of you witness the greatness of our old ancestor. Just then, an elder hurriedly ran up and shouted, something has happened, the old ancestor has died, the sect is no more. Master, quickly return to see that beast over there, it has devoured the old ancestor and all the scriptures and treasures are gone. The beast in his mouth slithered out from behind his shoulders, causing him to tremble and widen his eyes in shock. Tian Qing Taoist raised the cracked token, tears streaming down his face as he chuckled foolishly and muttered to himself as he fell back. It's done. Running to support, he stood still crying and said, the old ancestor is dead, the foundation is destroyed, there is no one who is a match for her, even the silver-eyed eagle king was killed by the golden dragon. Oh, the golden dragon! He immediately spat out a mouthful of black blood, splashing out, and the people behind were shocked and exclaimed, Master, the master is dead, Grand Elder of Ziyun sect said when he saw this scene, I despise, how could he cultivate to Yuaning with such talent? Ziyun master frowned and replied, the 8 saints were induced by drugs, but if old ancestor Tian Qing has died, then today the people of Tian Qing sect are no match for us. She smiled coldly and ordered, elders, follow me to destroy Tian Qing sect. The elders responded together, yes, and immediately rushed in. Yi Fan stood on the mountain cliff with his arms crossed, looking down at the chaotic scene of both sides fighting below, showing a bored expression and saying, it's too noisy. The battle raged on, powerful spiritual energy shooting in all directions. Ziyun Master led the way, using his sharp sword to single-handedly defeat the surrounding enemies. After a while, the remnants of the defeated enemies lay motionless on the ground. Ziyun Master raised his sword and said, Grand Elder, take care of these bodies, take them far away and do not dirty our Ziyun sect. The elder questioned, what about the remaining ones? Before he could finish, Ziyun Master explained, their disciples number 23,000. Killing too many would harm our Taoist hearts, and besides, the Tian Qing sect is no more, their disciples have no place to go and will disband on their own. The Grand Elder sighed. Master speaks the truth. Suddenly, they both gasped in horror, what is that? A strange object in the sky emitted spiritual energy, flying straight towards the mountain wall. Someone shouted, a coffin heading towards Pioneer of Jade. Master told the Grand Elder, let's go see what's there, and quickly rode his sword to chase after the coffin. Seeing on the coffin right now is a small excited puppy, Master suspiciously said, isn't that the demon beast that just destroyed Tian Qing sect? Grand Elder also didn't understand and replied, what's going on? Even if it's a flying beast, it should take at least 12 hours, but it only took half an hour to fly here. Ziyun Master thought to himself, I must stop it, Ziyun sect cannot let it destroy everything, even the old ancestor of Tian Qing sect had to die, let alone our disciples and treasures just arrived at divinity stage. The puppy has now approached the Jade Pioneer courtyard, seeing Yi Fan standing there. Its eyes shining brightly, it accelerated even faster. Ziyun Master exclaimed, it's so fast, we won't be able to catch up. Master worriedly thought, I might have to use acceleration secret technique, then quickly rushed to Yi Fan. Seeing the puppy and Yi Fan standing together, she angrily said, damn it, it really rushed to our disciple, if you dare to harm my disciple, you will die. Yi Fan looked at Master and listened silently, standing there feeling confused. The familiar man angrily lifted the puppy and scolded, this dog can just run back, why bring a coffin with it? Ziyun interrupted in surprise, return. Are these demon beasts yours? That's why you ran back so fast. Yi Fan didn't answer, turned and carried the small dog inside, saying, these demon beasts should be taken to the dungeon. Ziyun Master, worried, said, wait, think of another way. Yi Fan frowned and replied, Master, this dog is dangerous, having it at home is not safe. In his mind, he thought, this dog is given by the system, constantly giving me trouble and even a husky can't be at peace. Ziyun Master pleaded with a blush, please, reconsider. Yi Fan, embarrassed, handed the puppy to the master and said, don't be like this, I can't take it anymore. If you like it, take it away. The master happily took the puppy and said, "Great," then left and coincidentally met the Grand Elder. Ziyan and others were walking towards them. The Grand Elder suddenly spoke up, "Master, has this demon beast been tamed by someone?" Ziyan Master smiled and replied, "I didn't expect it to be our disciple's treasure." The Grand Elder and others were puzzled. "What?" they said, then heard the Master explain, "Our disciple's treasure is indeed mysterious and wonderful, knowing that the old ancestor Tian Qing was resurrected at midnight and brought it to the Tian Qing sect, so today's incident was already calculated." The Grand Elder looked at the small dog and said quietly, "So that's it, this spiritual pet is really good at eating and drinking." Another elder spoke up. "Such a powerful spiritual pet, I'm afraid Yi Fan's cultivation has reached the void realm." Ziyan rubbed her chin and asked in curiosity, "But Master, could this little useless person bite and destroy our sect in the future?" Master Ziyun hesitated before replying, "I don't think so." The atmosphere suddenly fell silent, everyone stared at the small dog intently. Some disciples broke the awkward silence, rushing in to report, Master, elders, something bad has happened." At this moment, some weak disciples followed behind, and in front of them was the person who had just spoken, carrying another injured person on their shoulder, continuing. Xiao Ming's senior brother encountered evil cultivators. Master frowned in anger and said, "What? Evil cultivators near our sect, daring to harm our golden elixir disciples." Sect Master then ordered, "Grand Elder, strengthen your realm. Second Elder, contact other sects, if encountered, immediately inform us." The elders bowed and replied, "Understood." Before leaving, outside the sect, amidst the vast mountain forest, a girl in a red garment, seemingly injured, hugged herself and said, "Luckily, I survived. Wait until I, Yuan Ing, arrive at Tianqing sect." Suddenly, she heard a voice saying, "Fate is truly unpredictable, I had the money just now and it was stolen from me." She approached and saw an old man with silver hair and beard leaning on a cane, struggling to walk, sighing, "Oh, my bones, the road home is still far away." Upon hearing this, she smiled, took the cane, and said, "Old sir, shall I take you a short distance with my flying sword?" The old man smirked. His face twisted into a malicious grin. The old man said, "Really? Little girl, thank you." She narrowed her eyes and smiled, "No need to thank me, cultivators do this to repay the heavens," unaware of the sinister smile on the old man's face. Suddenly, his entire body surged with evil energy. He reached out and slashed across her eyes, unleashing a burst of dark magic. She screamed in horror and immediately fell lifeless to the ground. The frail old man transformed into a man with red hair and glowing red eyes, his body radiating demon energy. Laughing maniacally, he grabbed her hand and dragged her across the ground, exclaiming joyfully, "Ah, another fool." He pulled her into a dark, eerie cave. In the center of the cave lay a bright red array with numerous patterns interwoven with crimson light. Skulls and bones lined the walls, adding to the ghastly scene. He shoved her into the middle of the array, which immediately lit up intensely. Thrilled by the sight, he gleefully said, "Sacrificing this cultivator's heart for the seventh disciple of the battle demon, the Nirvana Lord." He laughed wickedly, his eyes burning with a fierce red glow, "I will become the strongest cultivator in the eastern wilderness." Ha! At Ziyun sect, Yi Fan was sitting on a chair with his eyes closed, but the system next to him kept chattering in Yi Fan's ear, "Host, I successfully helped you draw a lot, congratulations host for receiving an exorcism talisman. The exorcism talisman is extremely effective against evil forces, it is the nemesis of all demonic forces." The system handed the exorcism talisman to Yi Fan and continued, "See, am I good or what? Now I can automatically draw lots." Yi Fan took the exorcism talisman, crushed it, and threw it into the trash bin. The system panicked and said, "Hee, host, please take care of me, there's no need to crush it like that." Outside the door, Li Ming Bai called out, "Yi senior brother, are you here? I brought some vegetables for you today." Yi Fan looked over and saw Li Ming Bai holding a basket outside the door. He spoke, Li Junior brother, you're so thoughtful. Li Mingbai carefully placed the basket of vegetables down and said, Yi senior brother, I left it here for you. Yi Fan replied, Junior brother, let me cook, and we can eat together. Li Mingbai refused to speak, no, junior brother still has work to do. Yi senior brother, do you have any rubbish for me to throw away? Yi Fan replied immediately, then please do that. Li Mingbai took the trash bag and went into the wilderness, thinking to himself, there is no one around here, I can open it now. I wonder if senior brother has thrown away any treasures in the rubbish pile. Li Mingbai searched through the trash in disappointment, saying, why is there nothing real? Could it be that senior brother is warning me, or maybe a super skill should not be taken lightly? Suddenly, Li Mingbai saw something shining in the pile of trash. He exclaimed, wait. What is this? He took out the exorcism talisman that Yi Fan had just crumpled and thrown away. Li Mingbai widened his eyes in surprise, then smiled and hugged it to his face enthusiastically, saying, I know, senior brother did not disappoint me, he is really kind. He carefully put the exorcism talisman in his pocket, muttering, this should not be mentioned, I have to keep it safe. After a while, Li Mingbai went to a tavern on a street, saw an old man standing in front of the door and said. Li Mingbai asked the shopkeeper, shopkeeper, where have our brothers gone? The shopkeeper replied, Li Daijia, it seems like something has happened, I don't know what it is, but they have all headed north. Li Mingbai suspected, north. Unless they have taken on a mission, if it's a mission, I have to hurry back. He raised his palm and said, thank you, shopkeeper, then left. An hour later, Li Mingbai tiredly walked and said, strange, on the way I don't even see any shadows, can't reach our brothers, what has happened? Should I turn back? At that moment, he looked to the side and suddenly saw an old man with gray hair sitting with his eyes closed against a tree trunk. The same red-haired man who had killed the girl. Li Mingbai approached and asked, old man, what happened to you? He observed the man and thought silently, he looks very sad, maybe I should take him back to the village first, or else we might not find our brothers. Li Mingbai brought the old man to a room to rest on the bed, while he sat down to meditate on the ground. Suddenly, the old man woke up startled, thinking. This place, where am I? An inn? Who brought me here? The old man looked around and saw Li Mingbai sitting with his eyes closed. Frowning, he muttered angrily to himself, so it's that brat. I originally planned to capture a dozen cultivators over 3 trips, but on the 3rd trip, I ran into that bear demon and then a Ziyan sect elder. I wasted a substitute talisman and lost 10 cultivators. Seething with anger, his body radiated evil energy as he approached Li Mingbai, maliciously thinking, I'll trick this little guy into bringing me back to avoid being hunted. First, I'll subdue him, then use him as a sacrificial offering in a few days. Just as his hand was about to strike, a powerful surge of spiritual energy erupted, shocking him. In an instant, it struck him, sending him flying in pain. Li Mingbai, still sitting unaware, didn't move. The old man, now sprawled on the ground and struggling to get up, thought, what just happened? Is there a great power nearby? But if there were, I'd be dead by now. Could this kid have a magic weapon? Desperate, he scrambled to his feet and tried to flee, still pondering. Do not be stubborn against him, running away is still better, then open your mouth and say, goodbye, no more appointments. Just as he climbed up the door to leave, immediately a powerful spiritual weapon shot out from Li Mingbai's body, rushing to hit his body, throwing him into the sky. Li Mingbai sat there for a while and gradually fell asleep without knowing anything. In his dream, Li Mingbai saw the moon beginning to rise. In front of him at this time was a warm hot spring. Li Mingbai happily exclaimed, wow, it's a big hot spring. Li Mingbai eagerly took off his clothes and stepped down to soak himself. He relaxed and dreamily exclaimed, it's so comfortable. I miss it too much. Suddenly a loud noise rang out. Li Mingbai opened his eyes wide and asked, what's going on? He immediately woke up, blushing and looking down at his body, then he exclaimed, oh why. Remembering his old man brought home, Li Mingbai turned back and immediately saw him, now lying unconscious on the floor with a very unpleasant face, with white eyes wide open. He hurriedly went to his side and asked, "Old gentleman, why are you lying on the ground like this?" He hazily opened his eyes and saw the enlarged face of Li Mingbai, then sat up in horror, quickly backing away, his face pale and trembling as he shouted, "Don't come any closer." Li Mingbai stood up bewildered and said, "Sir, I am not a bad person, I am a disciple of the Ziyun sect." This statement only made him more terrified, his twisted face turning gray as he hurriedly left, still yelling, "Don't come near." Li Mingbai saw something and hastily exclaimed, "Dangerous," but he continued to crawl frantically. He rushed towards the corridor of the room, and the wooden bars immediately broke and he fell straight down from the high floor, hitting his head and groaning. Li Mingbai quickly ran to him, saying, "Sir, hold on, I will transfer true qi to you right now." Immediately, Li Mingbai transmitted spiritual weapon into his body, but the old man refused in horror, "No, no, no, I am an evil cultivator, true qi will clash with the demonic energy in my body and I will die." With those words, he lay motionless, his body emitting a dark and gloomy aura. Li Mingbai was surprised, "Old man, why do you have evil energy on your body? Were you attacked by evil cultivators?" He took a deep breath, unable to speak, then closed his eyes slowly, looking lifeless. Li Mingbai regretfully said, "It's all my fault, just like my second grandpa's death, all because of me. I didn't realize you were poisoned by evil cultivators and even transferred true qi to you. If I had known earlier, I would have taken you to the sect for treatment, instead of inviting ordinary doctors, you wouldn't have died." He sat next to the cruel evil cultivator's body and felt pity. Those evil cultivators commit inhumane acts, it's unforgivable. I will definitely help you seek revenge. Li Mingbai walked back to the sect sadly. As he reached the door, he heard someone calling him, "Li Junior brother, you're finally back, we thought something happened to you." He looked at his senior brothers waiting at the door, confused, and asked, "What did I do?" One of them explained, according to the elder's patrol report, he found evil cultivators passing through the north of the town taking our senior brothers to eat at Zoe Xianju. Evil cultivators are extremely cunning. Unable to defeat the patrol elder, they used a substitute talisman to escape. The patrol elder only managed to save 10 brothers. Hearing this, Li Mingbai said, "So the senior brothers were all tricked by the evil cultivators." Did the patrol elder mention what that person looked like? The other person thought for a moment and then replied, "I heard the evil cultivator was an old man with a white beard and a walking stick made of locust tree wood." Li Mingbai pondered, "A locust tree stick? Isn't that the old man I carried back to town?" He began piecing together the whole process. So, the old man wasn't unconscious due to some strange illness, but because he was injured by the patrol elder. But that doesn't make sense. Why didn't the evil cultivator attack me, a mere refined qi stage? The patrol elder is at the yuaning stage, so the evil cultivator must be at least a golden elixir stage. But after waking up, why did he look so weak and fearful of me? A realization struck him, and Li Mingbai's mouth dropped open. Could it be that I have something on me that makes him afraid? The talisman? Thinking of this, Li Mingbai quickly turned and ran off. The disciples of the sect shouted, "Li Junior brother, where are you going?" He quickly replied, "I want to find Yi senior brother." At that moment, Yi Fan was standing in the kitchen with a tense and thoughtful expression. He said, "It's complicated now. If I had known earlier, I should have called Master and the others here. I can't handle this on my own." He stood with his arms crossed, staring at the kitchen full of uneaten food and said, "I cooked too much these days, couldn't finish eating." Li Mingbai rushed in, opened the door, and shouted, "Yi senior brother." Yi Fan saw him and happily said, "Li Junior brother, you came at the right time. I've just finished cooking. Just missing someone to eat with." Li Mingbai, confused, said, "Yi senior brother, I came to thank you. Did you prepare the meal for me?" Yi Fan smiled and replied, "Let's just say that." Li Mingbai sat down at the table and asked, "Why so many dishes?" Yi Fan sighed and answered, "I've been passionate about cooking lately, trying out a different dish each time. By the time I realized it, there were so many. I wanted to call Master and the others here, but they are busy with the evil cultivators matters. I know. Unfortunately, we cannot help, it is still up to you guys." Li Mingbai listened carefully to what he said and then raised his bowl to eat while thinking to himself, Yi senior brother's words make sense. He gave me the talisman to deal with evil cultivators, so preparing the meal means I can safely return. Having too much food means that there is someone else who can't finish their meal, and I must save my senior brothers and juniors so we can eat together. Remembering something, Li Mingbai's face turned ugly as he thought, didn't Master say that the evil cultivators are already dead? Then the thing that still gives them a headache must be other evil cultivators, right? Yi senior brother wants me to help. In other words, he gave me the talisman to go confront them. With this in mind, Li Mingbai quickly ate his meal without stopping. Yi Fan, confused, reached out to grab his shoulder and said, "Li junior brother, don't just eat like that, eat all the food, or you will choke." Li Mingbai coughed, then immediately stood up and waved to Yi Fan, saying, "Yi senior brother, it's not necessary. I still have to find Master, so I'll go ahead." Yi Fan heard that and replied, "Yeah, Li junior brother, be careful on the road." Li Mingbai smiled and said, "I will be careful," then immediately left. At this time, a voice echoed in a room, "That's what happened, we were close to killing the evil cultivators but he escaped using a substitute talisman." Master Ziyun sect sitting inside the room heard this and said, I understand, tell all the disciples outside the sect not to leave the door." Sixth Elder, arrange the disciples inside the sect to go out and expand the search, prioritize finding disciples, and eliminate those evil cultivators. The sixth elder sitting opposite replied, "Yes." Master Ziyun sect remembered Yi Fan's figure and thought to himself, although sealing the sect may preserve the disciples outside the sect, the hundreds of lives under the mountain may suffer losses. If my cherished disciple knows the art of deduction to calculate the position of the evil cultivators, it's not good, not good, not good, my cherished disciple will surely predict everything. I shouldn't disturb his cultivation, perhaps the intelligence will lead right to the door. At this moment, Li Mingbai ran in from outside shouting loudly, "Master, Yi senior brother told me to come help." Sixth elder saw someone rushing in and immediately shouted, "Li Mingbai, this is the sect's main hall, you cannot cause any more chaos." Master gently spoke up, "Sixth elder, do not be angry, have a cup of tea." She looked at Li Mingbai and asked, "Did my disciple ask you to come? Do you know if there are other missing disciples or if you know where the evil cultivators are, or if you know the hideout of the evil cultivators?" Li Mingbai scratched his head awkwardly and replied, "I don't know." Master shouted, "Then why did you come?" Suddenly, a disciple rushed in at the door in a panic and said, "No. No. It's not good." Sixth elder casually sipping his tea said, "Again, this time no one can be spared from worry." "What is happening now?" The disciple quickly responded, "The disciples brought back by the elder for patrol have turned into zombies, they are now leading other disciples in the sect." Outside the hall, disciples of the Ziyun sect gathered in rows, their eyes glowing with red evil energy spreading throughout the sect. Ziyun Master, Sixth Elder and Li Mingbai rode their swords, standing on top observing, then heard Sixth Elder angrily exclaimed, "How dare they come to our door and provoke us like this? It's just in time, we were feeling sad for not finding evil cultivators." Ziyun Master spoke up, "Sixth Elder, don't get agitated, evil cultivators are likely prepared for such actions, it might be a trap." Sixth Elder looked at her and asked, "So are we going to let evil cultivators take our sect disciples away?" Li Mingbai cheerfully said, "Haha, finally it's our turn to take action." Ziyun Master added, "This time, only half of the elders will go, you too Li Mingbai." She continued, "With half of the elders and our disciples for protection. Ziyun sect will be fine, but I hope this is not a trap set by evil cultivators to ambush us." Inside an abandoned house, a shadow slowly approached the blazing red battle formation of evil cultivators, grinning sinisterly. "Ha, finally the big fish takes the bait." The sunset gradually disappeared behind the trees. Ziyun Master stood in front of a certain place and said, "Are evil cultivators hiding inside?" She then turned to the Grand Elder and continued, "Grand Elder, bring the magic weapons, we must take them all." The Grand Elder replied, "For fear of the evil sect assassins, everything has been taken away." The Master responded, "Understood." Shortly after, she arranged, "Grand Elder, wait a moment and then bring a group of people to guard outside, do not let the evil cultivators escape." Another elder heard this and respectfully replied, "Yes." Li Mingbai stepped forward and asked, "Master, what about me?" The Master replied, "If the junior apprentice values you, then of course, you will come with us." Li Mingbai, being recognized by Master Yi Fan, immediately cheered, "All right." Master Ziyun Sect solemnly crossed her arms in disgust, "Li Mingbai, besides you, everyone else here is an elder Yuaning. Aren't you afraid of the hidden energy of evil cultivators?" Li Mingbai confidently replied, "With Master and the elders here, we can surely handle the evil cultivators." The Master smiled and said, "Li Mingbai, I didn't expect you to trust us so much. Furthermore, on the way here, I have thought about it. Evil cultivators use blood essence and energy from cultivation to refine into demonic power. The energy of the elders is very powerful. When that time comes, he will definitely deal with everyone first, without caring about us, right? Do you have any treasures for escaping? Give it to me. If something happens to everyone, I can inform the second elder to evacuate everyone." The sect master, touched by these words, was immediately angry and silently cursed, "I really want to kill this little guy." The four masters stood in front of the abandoned house emitting an evil and gloomy energy but did not enter. At this moment, the sixth elder felt uneasy, furrowing his brows and murmuring, feeling dizzy. Master Ziyun also approached and said, "There's a problem inside." She remembered something and immediately furrowed her brows with a worried sweat, saying, "It's not good, this is ancient demonic energy. Everyone, quickly take the antidote pill." At that moment, a terrifying voice mixed with sudden laughter resounded in the house, antidote pill, does this little pill want to escape my demonic energy?" The door of the house suddenly burst open, all four masters were unexpectedly sucked into the dark and eerie space, the air was hot and stifling, causing the masters and elders to quickly embrace themselves. Ziyun Master gritted her teeth and shouted angrily, "Elders, get ready to fight." Behind her, the Grand Elder whispered in fear, "Master, our true chi has been sealed," and the sixth elder also helplessly muttered, "I'm the same." Li Mingbai looked at them in confusion and thought to himself, "Why don't I feel anything?" The evil cultivators from the opposite side leisurely approached and sneered, "Of course I won't let you use true chi, after all, Yuaning is much better than those worthless refined chi stage guys." Ziyun Master looked up and thought to herself, "How is this possible? The power of this evil cultivator is divine, and void shattering is even stronger." She grimly opened her mouth and said, "Who are you really?" He stepped forward, his sharp fangs showing, his eyes red, and a pair of long horns on his head making him look truly terrifying. He stared at them and mockingly replied, "You can call me Nirvana." Sixth elder startled and exclaimed, "Nirvana?" Li Mingbai stepped forward and asked, "Sixth elder, is this Nirvana formidable?" The Grand Elder's eyes became hazy as he spoke, "Nirvana is not just formidable, but truly terrifying. 1,000 years ago, the magic clan invaded the human realm, and the heart-eating war demon and his 12 apostles bathed the entire eastern wilderness in blood. The battle lasted over 100 years, with countless cultivators falling at the hands of the magic clan. The eastern wilderness was nearly wiped out, and only when thousands of powerful cultivators joined forces were they able to defeat the heart-eating war demon. Nirvana, the seventh subordinate demon of the war demon, was the last one standing, facing over 30,000 cultivators of the Great Power Save Lives stage alone for 3 days and nights, killing them all. The eastern wilderness lost over 10,000 of its great power save lives cultivators in that battle. The master then looked at Nirvana and asked, "Were you not killed thousands of years ago? How are you still alive?" Nirvana arrogantly replied, "If we die so easily, then we have underestimated our Wu Dai magic clan. The magic clan will not perish. It is time to feel happy for having filled our bellies. Humanity can become a part of your sitting position. That is a great honor, and I will remember this day, the day when my power is restored." Sect Master Ziyun's sect and the elders are weakening. She silently thinks in her head, vitality and energy are being drained. Am I going to die? If I had known, I would have sat with my disciple for a while today. There are still many words left unsaid to him. Li Mingbai is still normal, looking at those around him in pain and weakness, suddenly feeling unsure of what to do. A thought flashes in his mind. A bright golden light appears, surprising the master. Seeing Li Mingbai holding the exorcism talisman high in the air, she silently says, "Li Mingbai." Nirvana frowned, his eyes becoming sinister, saying, "Little guy, what are you holding?" Li Mingbai tightly grasps the exorcism talisman and rushes forward screaming. "The spell that Yi senior brother gave me, Nirvana is preparing to die." Ziyun master's eyes lit up, saying, "Does my disciple give you a magic weapon?" Li Mingbai shouted, "Die," a sound, fiercely attacking with Nirvana, but he immediately caught one of Li Mingbai's moves, then disdainfully said, "Just refining chi staged to expel evil spirits, what are you pretending in front of?" As soon as he opened his mouth and said, Li Mingbai immediately broke free from his arms, jumped up and emitted a bright golden light that dazzled the eyes. Nirvana couldn't believe his eyes and shouted, "Extreme illusion golden light," then took a hit straight to the face by Li Mingbai's hand emitting a huge amount of spiritual energy. Suddenly, far behind the mountains, a dazzling golden light appeared, bringing something powerful shooting straight into the sky. Yi Fan, who was sleeping on this side, suddenly had a beam of light shining on his face. Yi Fan squinted uncomfortably and said, "It's too bright outside," then immediately turned to another direction and continued to fall asleep. Nirvana's face revealed a fierce expression, his eyes red and growling like a wild beast. His body is now enveloped in a dark and brutal source of evil energy. Nirvana stares at Li Mingbai with gritted teeth, saying, "Don't get cocky, 30,000 great monks can't defeat me, the magic weapon of a cultivator like you can't." Before he could finish his sentence, Li Mingbai, with countless long tentacles suddenly protruding from his body like octopus tentacles, thinks to himself, "I don't know what this technique is, but showing a stance should work." Nirvana's face immediately pales, he grits his teeth, struggling to say, "What, me?" Then he sees Li Mingbai wide stance, directly using spiritual energy to release powerful tentacles towards him. In a blink of an eye, Nirvana's entire body is bound. The fierce tentacles wrapping around his body, then advancing towards his eyes, nose, and mouth squeezing tightly in a frenzy. Li Mingbai witnesses this scene, blushing, embarrassedly saying, "This is a bit kinky." In an instant, Nirvana screams in agony. Once again Li Mingbai shoots out beams of sword energy, causing a thunderous roar, rocks and stones shattering all around. Nirvana immediately dissipated into smoke. Intense golden light followed. Senior brother disciples of Ziyun's sect who were previously captured appeared, along with a girl in a red robe. Waking up in confusion, the disciples murmured, "Where are we? Weren't we here to drink?" The girl beside also groaned bewilderedly, "My eyes hurt too," for a moment. At this moment, Ziyun master silently breathed a sigh of relief, thinking to himself, "Brats, Ziyun's sect was saved this time thanks to you." Ziyun master walked up, opening his mouth to say, "Li Mingbai, you did well." The grand elder also came up smiling and said, "Without you, Ziyun's sect would have fallen into Xiang's sect's trap." Li Mingbai scratched his head, awkwardly responding, "Ha ha, I'm just following Yi senior brother's lead," ending with a slight gloom on his face, his body unexpectedly accompanied by a faint shadow. Shortly after, at Pioneer of Jade, Li Mingbai spoke, "Yi senior brother, master and I are here to visit you." Then both entered, Yi Fan coming out from inside, saying, Li Junior brother has been visiting a lot recently. And why did master come to find me so early today? I haven't prepared lunch yet, is there anything else? Ziyun master hesitated to say to her disciple, today I came to learn, cooking. Yi Fan, puzzled, asked, cooking? The master who never thought about cultivation now wants to cook. Ziyun master replied that she is also a woman, and someday she will get married and need to cook. Besides, even cultivators will want to eat. Yi Fan curiously whispered in her ear, are you trying to attract some old man to marry you and be your chef? Ziyun master's face turned dark and she scolded him, saying that he always acts like that and can't be called a man. This made Yi Fan immediately run away in fright. Ziyun master sighed and thought to herself, what a foolish disciple, why mention cultivation? I really want to ask about cultivation, it has been stuck for 200 years. But why can't you give me a better excuse than cooking? Are you treating me like a little girl? Yi Fan now solemnly spoke up, Master, if you want to learn how to cook, let's go to the kitchen, you have to listen to me later. Master Ziyun immediately replied, of course, let's go, disciple. At this moment, Li Mingbai opened his mouth and said, Yi senior brother, I'll wait here for you to make lunch. The ghost in Li Mingbai's body echoed, he's the one who casts spells to dispel evil spirits. How can he be a mortal without cultivation? Observing Yi Fan's body in the darkness suddenly shining brightly, he exclaimed, wait, his innate constitution is a Taoist body, haha, with heaven's help, once I can take over his body, in less than 100 years I can return to the world to save lives. Thinking this, he directly left Li Mingbai, fiercely rushing towards Yi Fan's body and said to himself, not even surpassing the Lord will be a problem. He followed above Yi Fan's head with a sinister smile, as he was still struggling to enter Yi Fan's body, the system quickly notified, host is about to be possessed by a powerful demon, this demon is extremely dangerous, please escape from this place, host can check in at designated sect locations, the system board can help host cheat once in checking in tasks. Yi Fan quietly thought to himself, demon, huh? Back then, demon, the demon lord himself, fought tirelessly. No matter how far I go, why can't I feel it? The system, feeling bored, continued, check that the host's master wants to break through from the host, please go to the designated location to receive the corresponding reward, go, anyway, you are about to lose your life soon. Let me help you have some meaning, go directly. The master's voice rang out at this moment, cutting off the system's words. Yi Fan turned to look at her, opening his mouth to say, disciple, how did you cook this delicate dish? Yi Fan replied, let me see, then walked over to look at the food on the cutting board. Opening his mouth to say, Master, this won't do, you're about to crush the tofu. She hesitated and said, how can I do it? I don't know how to cook. Yi Fan walked over, holding a knife to guide her, Master, relax, follow my rhythm. He wrapped his arms around the master from behind, holding her hand, causing the master to blush. Yi Fan whispered in her ear. The person held too tightly that the child could not enter, he held her hand up to continue guiding on the tofu. Squeeze slowly, then move up and down with a rhythm, Ziyun master thought of something, then opened his eyes wide, his face flushed like a fire. Yi Fan gently pulled the film layer on the surface of the tofu and continued, you can use your index finger and middle finger to gently touch its hole, how deep is the tofu, have you reached the core, did it tear the film layer? Before finishing his words, Ziyun master immediately turned his face and shouted, oh, stop talking, confusing Yi Fan. Seeing the wound on her hand, master continued to cry out, oh, it hurts so much. Yi Fan looked at Ziyun master and chuckled, saying, you are over 1,000 years old and still acting like a little girl. She blushed with anger and said loudly, you're still laughing, master is about to die of pain. Li Mingbai was about to enter from outside and said, Yi senior brother, the food for the master. Before he could finish his sentence, he heard a voice from inside saying, it hurts at first, but once you get used to it, it won't hurt anymore, causing him to stop, blushing and surprised, silently asking, "What are ye senior brother and master doing?" He opened his eyes to see the two of them standing close together. Yi Fan spoke up, "I'll take a little longer, there's plenty of time for Li junior brother to wait outside a bit longer." Li Mingbai turned red and said embarrassedly, "Oh, ye senior brother and master have that kind of relationship, but as disciples." He quickly ran away, feeling embarrassed. On this side, Yi Fan looked at the master cooking and commented, "Master, you're making dark cuisine," unaware that the Nirvana ghost had been lingering beside him. The ghost thought, "Strange, my ghostly aura has affected him, why can't I possess him?" Immediately, the system frowned with disgust, saying, "If you can't do it, don't try with my host anymore," then struck him with a fierce blow, making him suddenly disappear. Back at Ziyun sect, inside the discussion hall, Ziyun master is sitting in the middle listening to the two female elders' continuous discussion. Grand Elder furrowed his brow and said, "I think after the evil cultivators are destroyed, the disciples inside the sect should take the disciples outside the sect out for training to avoid similar problems happening again." The female elder with pink hair sitting opposite immediately retorted, "Training seems lighthearted, the majority of the disciples inside the sect are still naive. Telling them to lead the disciples outside the sect is like pushing them into danger, isn't it?" Ziyun master, sensing the tension, stood up angrily and slammed the table shouting loudly, "Silence!" A purple light burst from her body filling the room. The two grand elders turned to look, astonished, and exclaimed, "Master, you've broken through to the Yuaning stage." "Master, when did you have a breakthrough?" Ziyun master then changed her tone calmly and replied, "It's nothing, yesterday my disciple made food and suddenly I had an epiphany." She blushed and continued, "It's an ancient source of power. It's like a warm stream of water blending into our body, flowing through our veins. Guided by it, I have vaguely guessed that a part of the skill of the Ziyun sect is actually a mistake, indeed it is. In the future, I will write down this integrated skill for the entire sect to learn." The Grand Elder, astonished, exclaimed, "A mistake? What does the person mean by saying that the inheritance skill in our sect has been wrong for thousands of years? How does this relate to cooking?" Ziyun master blushed and laughed shyly, "Of course it is related, disciple treasure of mine, when hugging me, I felt the true cheek constantly colliding with my dantian." The Grand Elder's face also turned red involuntarily. Shouting, "Colliding?" Ziyun master still smiling dreamily replied, "The speed of collision was extremely fast, before the first wave subsided, the peak of the second wave had arrived, and then nearly 2 hours of intense collisions later, I suddenly felt the barrier inside me completely shattered." The pink-haired female elder pondered and exclaimed, 2 hours. Ziyun master pointed at himself in confusion and asked, "Yes, 2 hours, is that unusual?" Grand Elder thought that the master, who had lived for thousands of years, how could he say such ferocious words? The pink-haired female elder also couldn't help but wonder how this matter could be discussed in front of everyone now. When would this elder stop? Just then, someone rushed over to report, "Master, something big has happened, there is an upheaval at Fengming Mountain." Upon hearing this, Ziyun master and the two grand elders were shocked and exclaimed, "What?" In the clear sky above the Jade Pioneer Mountain, Yi Fan's voice echoed, "Master, they say Fengming Mountain has the stronghold of Zhengyang sect, Zhaotingzhen, is it true?" Ziyun master, who had not known how long she had been there, clasped her hands and said, 8 or 9 parts are definitely true, all sects are gathering people, disciples, although I know you don't like." Before Ziyun master could finish her sentence, Yi Fan said, "Yes, then let me go." She was still making a pleading face, saying, "Don't refuse to the point of." But then she noticed Yi Fan leaving and exclaimed in surprise, "Oh, you're really going?" Yi Fan smirked and said, "I've never seen the birth of a cave residence in such a grand manner, so I want to go join the fun." In his mind, he thought, although this is true, I'm more interested in finding out about this Zhao Tingzhen. Could he be someone Qi Shinian knew? Zhao Tingzhen is quite decent, one of the few friends I had. It's a pity his life was so short, and I was set up by senior sister. All troublesome matters. I'm just going to see a wonder, how could it be related to me? The puppy standing next to the nine-tailed spirit fox perked up its ears and started barking loudly. It turned back and said to the nine-tailed spirit fox, "Woof woof, master is going out to have fun." "Let's go too." The nine-tailed spirit fox followed closely and asked, "Woof, can I not go?" only to hear the puppy respond firmly, "Woof, no." On the peaks of Fong Ming Mountain, a large ship stopped amidst the thick clouds of dust. Below, a man wearing a fur coat with hair styled upwards like two horns spoke to a long-haired man sitting comfortably on a chair. "The Ziyun sect has arrived," the man said, to which the other man responded with a, "I know." The other masters gradually stepped forward to stand in front of the Ziyun master, with one of them saying, "Ziyun disciple, you have finally arrived, making us wait for so long." The Ziyun master and the grand elder approached them, and upon hearing this, she spoke up, "Seeing you masters here so arrogantly, could it be that you have found a solid backing already?" The man with long hair covering half his face then walked up, holding a fan, and coolly said, "Solid backing? Let's just say I do for now." Observing him, Ziyun master noticed something embroidered on his robe and whispered. "This symbol, the top sect of Donghua City, Xianyin sect." He opened his fan and remarked, "Is this woman really from Ziyun? Her appearance fits, too bad she's too old, otherwise this young master would have wanted to take her as a concubine." The man behind him immediately spoke up, "If young masterly finds her too old, then let us go find some younger ones for you." The grand elder behind them angrily shouted, "You," but was quickly stopped by the Ziyun master, who then said, "You must stay calm. The Xianyin sect is immensely powerful, with dozens of divine transformation realm cultivators alone. We cannot fight them." The grand elder took a deep breath, regained his composure, and replied, "Yes, Ziyun master," clasping his hands in a salute, said to the person in front of him, "So, it is a Taoist friend from the Xianyin sect. It is truly an honor to meet you." Li young master of the Xianyin sect pointed towards a cave entrance behind him, from which a mysterious, eerie light was emanating, and said, "In a moment, you all will go inside and scout the way for me. The legacy of the great power belongs to me, and you can divide the remaining treasures among yourselves. But beware, if anyone dares covet the legacy later, be mindful of your nine-tailed spirit fox." Suddenly, he frowned and turned towards Ziyun master, pointing and shouting, "Who is he?" Standing before the Xianyin master was Yi Fan. Ziyun master proudly responded, "This is my most prized disciple, Yi Fan." Yi Fan, bewildered, with a wry smile, said, "Master, I'm just a mortal. What's there to be proud of?" Li young master stared intensely at Yi Fan, frowning and clenching his teeth as he thought to himself. Is he Yi Fan? Intelligence didn't say he doesn't like going out, he's always inside Pioneer of Jade, right? Moreover, he claims to be immortal. What's the meaning of that? Is he really immortal? No, he's definitely absorbing aura. He dared to display his power in front of 7 sects, defeating the Silver-Eyed Eagle King and hundreds of demon beasts at Yuaning stage. How can a genius cultivator be immortal? His face twisted in extreme horror, thinking continuously in his head, "No, he's clearly intentionally mocking me. I have been cultivating in the ancestral clan for over 10 years, still not as good as him, a mere mortal, starting from zero. Right, mortal indeed. Just wait for me to destroy your Dantian. Then you can rest assured to be immortal." At this moment, a hand reached out and placed on his shoulder, saying, "Li young master, don't act recklessly." The man in a fur coat stopped him, continuing, "The spirit beasts he raised have killed the old ancestor of Tianqing sect, a cultivation at the Divinity Peak." He turned in shock and said, "Divinity Peak? His spirit beasts are not void-shattering realm, are they?" The other person responded in a low voice, "At least this one has reached void-shattering realm, otherwise it would not be able to suppress the spirit beasts under its command." After some thought, the young Master Li stepped forward in front of Master Ziyun and Yi Fan, bowing respectfully and saying, "Junior Li Erbai greets Senior Yi." Yi Fan casually asked, "Is there any place to rest or cool off nearby?" To which Li Erbai humbly replied, of course, Senior Yi, please have a seat." Yi Fan lounged on a chair, waving his hand carelessly and saying, "Thank you," unaware of Li Erbai's fierce gaze fixed on him, silently thinking, "Dare to come here and vie for the great power inheritance with me? Wait until the sect opens and I will use countless methods to deal with you." The sun was high above their heads. On Feng Ming Mountain, the young spirit beasts were running around with a nine-tailed spirit fox in their mouths, stopping in front of a deep abyss. The nine-tailed spirit fox cried out loudly, "Bark, bark, bark, let me go down." The young spirit beast replied, "Bark, no." After that, he immediately looked into the distance and suddenly saw something shining brightly, making him excitedly shout, "Wow, there's a new toy." At the same time the nine-tailed spirit fox he had in his mouth was also released following his shout, plunging straight down the deep cliff screaming, "A." But the puppy paid no attention, its eyes gleaming with excitement, its tongue sticking out straight ahead. The crowd gathered in front of the cave entrance, staring without blinking. Yi Fan sitting next to Master Ziyun exclaimed, "Master, it's been over half a day, how much longer until the cave opens completely?" Master Ziyun replied nonchalantly, "Just wait, it might take half a day or a year. Sooner or later it will open." Yi Fan yawned and continued, "If we can't wait, we might as well return to the sect." Suddenly, the ground they were sitting on shook violently, both of them startled and stood up, and then heard Master Ziyun shout loudly, "The cave is opening." In front of them, the solid layer of rocks on the wall was slowly cracking and crumbling. Countless beams of light shooting out in all directions left everyone gaping in awe. Before they could recover their composure, the cave suddenly boomed with a loud explosion, dust and debris rising into the air. Rising up from the cave below was a magnificent palace. The onlookers couldn't help but exclaim, "Zhengyang sect, Zhengyang sect has finally revealed itself in its entirety, this sect is truly magnificent." Yi Fan, still bewildered, thought to himself, "Oh, so this is the current state of the cave. It is indeed quite magnificent. Although his style does not match that of Zhao Tingzhen that I know, this is the first time in 100 reincarnations that I have seen it. And it is quite worth it." Li Erbai on this side smirked to himself, "Zhengyang Taoist sect's treasure controls the infinite flow of time and space, as long as I obtain it, my cultivation speed will not be inferior to the celestial holy body. Once I have it, I will no longer have to worry about the gaze of others in the sect." With this in mind, he turned to speak to the other masters. "The masters, Zhengyang sect has been opened, inside there must be many layers of seals, please help us break through to protect the great mountain formation and open up the entire Zhengyang sect." An old master with white hair and beard clasped his hands in agreement happily responded, "We agree." However, as he turned away, the faces of the masters became grim, the old master furrowed his brows and muttered, "Trying to trick us into being the decoys? Humph, the inheritance cannot fall into your hands." At this moment, Ziyun master looked at Yi Fan and said, "Disciple, the sect has been opened, come with me." Yi Fan crossed his arms and replied, "No, this sect has no value to me other than its scenery." Ziyun master heard this and said, "Very well, then we can only cooperate with other sects." After thinking for a while, Yi Fan replied, "Master, I will return to the clan and wait." It's unknown when the puppy had arrived here, it sneaked into a crack in the wall and entered inside, followed by the nine-tailed spirit fox, signaling for them to follow. Nine-tailed spirit fox heard that and eagerly ran over, shouting, "One," in response. Both animals advanced deeper, suddenly a strange, dazzling light appeared in front of them, causing them to look up in astonishment. In front of nine-tailed spirit fox and the puppy was a demon beast resembling a giant white bear, sitting cross-legged in cultivation, emitting a powerful spiritual weapon with a scary green light. It frowned tightly, coldly saying, "Little creatures, hurry and leave, this king can spare your lives." Nine-tailed spirit fox hesitated, secretly telling the puppy, "This place is too dangerous, let's leave quickly." However, in response, the puppy rushed forward like an arrow, excitedly replying, "Big Bones, I'm coming." It quickly rushed to grab the spiritual weapon on the Demon King's body and darted away, causing the Demon King to startle and shout in horror, "Little creatures, how dare you steal my spiritual weapon?" Nine-tailed Spirit Fox couldn't believe it and cried out in tears. The Demon King, angry, raised his claws and madly shouted, "How dare you disturb my cultivation, you are seeking death, all of you must die." He stood up and stepped forward, slamming his fist into the ground, instantly shattering the layers of earth and rocks, causing them to fly everywhere. The young dog, undaunted, still gnawing fiercely, ran off recklessly. Outside the majestic and sturdy city wall, it disappeared in the blink of an eye, glowing brightly into a dazzling array of light and darkness. Ziyun Master, feeling relieved, sighed and said, "Finally, we have unlocked the final formation." The female elder standing next to her also said, "I never expected that even when Zhengyang's sect was destroyed, we could still keep hundreds of formations intact for thousands of years." At this moment, Li Erbai signaled to the man in the fur coat behind him, "Elder Shi, we will follow the plan. After you have wounded those useless Yuaning individuals, immediately advance and seize the infinite heavenly land. I will be responsible for holding them back." After some consideration, the man agreed, saying, "Yes. Once we have obtained the infinite heavenly land, we will retreat, Li Young Master. Please do not worry Yi Fan and Ziyun sect." The old master with white hair walked up to them with a smile and said, "Li Young Master, this is the final place in the sect. We have never seen the inheritance of Zhengyang's sect before, can you show us?" The red-haired master following behind him also spoke, "We hope Li Young Master will succeed." Shi Elder, a man next to Li Erbai, showed a sinister face and coldly replied, "Succeed? Fine, I will represent the young master and agree." Upon hearing this, the red-haired sect master quickly thanked Shi Elder. As soon as the red-haired master finished speaking, Shi Elder's eyes showed a fierce look as he shouted loudly, "But that's only if you can defeat me." He raised his hands and forcefully pressed against the bodies of the two masters, releasing a powerful spiritual energy to directly control them. Li Erbai immediately took action, furrowing his brow and showing a ruthless look. He took out a spirit talisman and directed it towards the two masters, unleashing a bright yellow spiritual light, heading towards the two fierce masters, making them fly far away in pain. The ground and rocks in the cave were also shattered by his move. Ziyun Master could not open her eyes wide in front of the chaotic battle in front of her. She struggled to speak. "Li Daoist friend, why suddenly lower your hand?" He sneered and said, "Lower my hand. If I don't immediately take your lives, that's already good enough." He ordered the elder Shi behind him, "Shi Elder, go now." Shi Elder immediately replied, "Li Young Master, please rest assured, I will definitely obtain the infinite earth." At this moment, the elder saw two shadows just passing behind him. He puzzledly muttered, "What is this?" Then he turned around. In front of him was a giant claw moving aggressively towards him, making him wide-eyed in horror. The sharp claws straight down to the ground with a loud bang, making Li Erbai pale in shock and shouted, "Shi Elder." The Demon King with red eyes stood firm like a mountain blocking in front of them. He coldly spoke, "So it was you humans collaborating to steal my treasure, huh?" The two masters were surprised and couldn't believe it, simultaneously exclaimed, "The tyrant Moon Bear." The story ends here. See you in the next chapter.